Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Geekery. And let me get this overlay off so you can see all our handsome faces here. I think Dadman's probably no. I think Maddie's daddy's got it for the win. I was going to say Dadman's the best looking person here, but Steve is cheating with.
He's cheating.
With Maddie in there. Like it's no contest. It's like, yeah, how can we compete with that? Yeah. So hail to the mighty Thor, aka Maddie's daddy.
Who? What's his name again?
He's the mighty Thor.
Yes.
So hail.
He's mighty Thor. He's mighty Thor at us.
He's mighty Thor. Yep. And we'll go counterclockwise, and we've got this guy here.
Never that way.
God damn it, Mark! Jeez.
The dad man walking 55. Yeah.
Hey, my mic button's actually working. It's flashing between green and red now. Hey, how are you, Mark?
Wow.
Bobby.
Mics usually don't work on my stream, so I'm glad you got that.
That's true. How to work anywhere.
I know. Well, for a while it stayed red, whether it was on or off. So hey, no, I know for sure. But hey, good to be here tonight. How are you guys doing?
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And we've got Hell.
What do you want? Sorry.
Oh, we had
Yeah.
too much fun on Star Trek last night.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone who showed up there. God, it was, great stuff.
There was enough Neelix. There were
you
Waddy.
Yeah.
Too much Neelix. Oh, I don't know what's worse, that or Neelix. That's bad.
That's like a subliminal mess.
That Neelix foot thing's got to be the worst one.
Put that in there.
No,
Let's say hi to everyone in the chat before I forget. So the ever awesome Hungry Boy's here. He's looking for a real Super Scroll. Oh, I saw the real Super Scroll. We'll talk about the Marvels. Yeah, all those scrolls. Man. And hail to Brogu. And of course, we got
hometown.
Maddie's daddy in the chat too. Hail to Brogu.
Kick that guy out. Not Brogu, the other guy.
The Maddie's daddy, yeah. And
Brogu, I just heard you're from my neck of the woods.
Yeah, BR. Another one here. Maddie's daddy also is sort of from there. You're sort of from there.
Yeah, right.
I lived 3/4 of my life there.
Yeah, so you were there quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, not anymore. About 2/3 now, I guess. I've been here for quite a while.
So,
yeah.
Maddie said he lived there back in the 30s and 40s, maybe in the 50s for a little while.
Yes, the 1830s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah. And hail to Dave C. Thank you for becoming a member the other day, Dave C.
Dave C.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Dave C. with a D.
And
Dave C. with a D. Yeah.
And it works too, because it's Dave with a D. So
it does work, yeah.
It does work,
Dave said, "You're not put on this world to get it, Mr. Button. This really pisses me off to no end."
And hail Brian Hepburn, another channel member and Patreon supporter. Thank you very much, Brian.
Always good to see
you.
You,
says, and Brogu says, born and raised in Baton Rouge. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man. But we've all had that. I've had the same tragedy. Yeah.
Brogu, do you live there now?
I don't think he said something about not like a lot of people who don't anymore. But I don't know, maybe. But but Maddie's daddy and I, back in the 50s, we used to go to Hoppers all the time. It was a gasser.
Yep. And then you, me, Fonzie, Potsy. Yeah. Those were good times. Those were good times.
It really was a Hoppers, but I think it was done by the 70s and the 70s.
Sit on it, Clobby.
Yeah. Hey. No, that's right.
Hey.
So then we started going to what's the name of that place? Damn it, I'm forgetting about it.
Well, you and little Joe and I used to hang out at the Ponderosa for a while with Pa.
That's true. He's in Houston. He's the whole planet Houston now. Yeah. At least we didn't hang out with Joni and Chachi. Well, here love each other.
Joni and Chachi. Joni loves Chachi. Did you ever watch that? Wasn't there a TV show Joni Loves Chachi?
Yeah, for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
There was.
For 3 weeks. Yeah, it was quick.
No, it was like 2 seasons, I think.
Seasons? Are you sure it lasted more than a season?
I think it was 2 seasons. But
could be, but wow.
Hang on, I will check
it up.
Mork and Mindy was
interwebs.
Mork and Mindy and Laverne and Shirley were the two of the successful spinoffs.
Yep. Wait, there's. I think there's one you're missing.
Oh, it was Happy Days itself was a spinoff of Love American Style.
That's
But,
true.
Let's
That's
see.
true.
But there was Joni Loves Chachi, but I don't think was there another one. There may have been one other one.
I think
Chuck had the best spinoff of all.
Chuck was it, yeah.
He spun
He
right off the
existed,
fan.
then he did not exist. He was
He
from
did
that
not
Star
ex-
Trek
he's-
episode.
Yes, he disappeared to another dimension, and they walked him out of existence.
Yeah, like they'd like to do with some of the Marvel stuff these days.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yes, there were 2 seasons of Joni Loves Chachi.
Wow.
But
Mm.
it sort of only counts as one because there were only 17 episodes.
Sorry, I'm
Counts
thinking
as
of
one?
Dodge.
Are you okay?
I
Can we
know.
tell Dadman?
No, I'm thinking of Dodgeball when Ben Stiller's character is Joni Loves Chachi.
Yeah.
I think that Fu Manchu. I'm sorry, I had that flashback in my head. Sorry.
So it lasted 2. Holy shit.
How many episodes though? Was it like a
Yeah.
mid-season replacement? Was
It was,
like,
it was only
20?
17. It was only 17 episodes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's kind of like the original Shazam, where John Davey replaced Jackson Bostwick for 2 seasons, but Jackson Bostwick in his 1 season did more episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
Pinky Tuscadero. Yep, I remember. Pinky
That's
Tuscadero.
and Fonzie jumped the shark, and the show jumped the shark.
Yes, he did. Yep.
And Hungry Bones, did they serve shrimp pizza at Arnold's? Of course, hey, the Fonz loved
Arnold's,
Fonz
yeah.
is Italian. Of course, he loved shrimp and clam pizza, right?
Well,
Imagine
no.
that.
I'm sorry. That was Al's. That was at Al's because he changed the name to Al's. Arnold was Tahashi Takanashi or something.
And
Yeah, no, but I'm saying the Fonz would want Italian food though. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Oh,
first-
Fonz. I thought you said Al. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat Morita,
Yeah.
but then Al took over. Didn't they keep calling it Arnold's?
They did, and then
For a
there
while,
was like
right?
a fire, and they rebranded it as Al's.
Al's, okay, yeah.
And they updated it to more 70s looking wood paneling. And
I believe the shark had been completely jumped by then, because
Yeah,
those last episodes looked like they were like taking pleasure in the modern day. They weren't even trying to make it look period.
well, it definitely took a hit when Richie left.
Yeah,
Because then it became the Fonzie show, and actually they wanted
wasn't the same.
Yeah, and actually, some props to Henry Winkler because they wanted to call it like in the 2nd season or 3rd season. They wanted to change the name to Fonzie's Happy Days.
Wow.
And Henry Winkler said, "Hey, not cool." And he said, "No," he said, "I don't want to do that."
at least they got to make a cartoon.
Yep. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Was it Norm Prescott and Lou Schemer?
Yeah, it was a Filmation.
Filmation. Yeah, right. Yeah. Also, the same guys that made Shazam. So we're back. I can relate anything to Shazam.
Oh yeah, yes. Filmation has a lot of stuff.
Shazam's what got me into all this stuff. So,
Well, Shazam.
I saw some episodes of the old George Reeves and his girdle and shoulder pads, and Adam West and Burt Ward, but it didn't really get me excited about comics. And then when I saw Shazam and he said the magic word and all that kind of stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. What is this? And then somebody gave me, my brother gave me a comic book for Christmas that year, a collection of old Captain Marvel. And it had Jack, the one collab, it had Jackson Bostwick on the cover.
Oh yeah, that was one of those. Well, they weren't really Treasury editions, but they were the same size. Marvel didn't call them Treasury editions. DC didn't have that name. They were just tabloid sized. And it had all reprints. It was great. That thing's not too expensive, but Jackson Bostwick wants $100 to sign that sucker. He did back like 15 years ago at DragonCon. A friend of mine brought it to get him.
Wow.
A friend of mine brought his own copy to get signed, and Jackson Bostwick wanted $100 to do it. Nah.
Yeah, you're not that big of a draw.
Crazy.
I mean, $20 or
Yeah.
Do I know this friend, Clubby?
I do think you've met this one. This is from Mississippi.
Okay, gotcha. Because we have a mutual friend who I do know, who looks better without his glasses, apparently, who said that. Well, I don't. You know what? I'm gonna not finish that statement because I don't want to.
You can.
I don't want to be negative about people. Because some people like.
Oh yeah.
Some people. So you and I both met Burt Ward back in the day at the auto show.
Adam West, Burt Ward,
and he was a very nice guy. I have another friend, a guy I used to work with, who met him and said he was a total jerk. So anybody can have a bad day. Anybody can have, I know Ferrigno, I've seen Lou Ferrigno get kind of testy because people still expect him to be 24 years old and, 280 pounds of muscle, and the guy's like in his 70s now. And some people just don't understand that people get older and gain weight, their hair falls out, whatever, not
everyone hail to RRT.
Hey, RR.
Driving home. Yep. It's his cheers. Yep.
Not everybody is Linda Carter who looks, amazing forever.
No, and also, like you said, people have bad days. Now, you could hear anecdotal experiences from a lot of people who say, I met so-and-so and he was a jackass. I met him and it was really cool and really nice. I mean, and maybe they both were true. Maybe they were just, they had bad experiences with that person and, it's happened.
Yeah, and it could be a bad day. People could have a bad flight, a bad ride. The room at the hotel is not ready. Somebody says, "Oh wow, you look old and fat." I mean, and then you meet that guy, and naturally they're going to be in a bad mood because people are people. But if you met, like I told Ferrigno, and this is true. I said because when his mother was alive, I met him and said, go home and or when you talk to your mother, tell him that you met a guy who's probably still alive because of your show. Because before I met you, Clobby, I was a fat kid. And you know that the men in my family die young. Had I not seen Shazam, which led me to the Hulk and got me into lifting weights and getting in shape, I probably would have had a heart attack and died by now because I was expanding exponentially. Some people could do that. Some people can live forever and be, but in my family, no, sir. You're 5 pounds overweight, boom, you're dead. So
wow.
Anyway, I told that to Ferrigno and he beamed. Like it was Christmas. He was so happy to hear that. He actually gave me his I have his personal email.
Wow.
Oh, can you put it out on the chat?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll give you John Davies too.
Yeah. I've got this super chat from RRTNZ. So
hey.
Thank you. Yeah, thoughts on Gary Gygax and old D&D. Well, Bob Times, you didn't play any of that D&D.
I never really played D&D. I mean, I know of him and I knew who he was and all that stuff, but I didn't play. You did though, right?
Yeah, I played a lot. Yep. I'm going to burn in hell according to some of the people at the Catholic school back in the 70s. It was kind of controversial. I can see why. Yeah.
Well, that part of hell's for geeks, so it's not so bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So with now, of course, we try not to get too much into politics here, even though I am a political junkie in my, not my day job, but my hobby or free. I've always think of Alex B. Keaton. I was kind of that kind of kid growing up. I actually remember crying when Richard Nixon resigned. I remember seeing the headline in one of those newspaper boxes, and I started crying when I was like 5 or 6. More not, I didn't know who Nixon was, but just like the whole idea of the president resigning. And we happened to be in a foreign country at the time too. But I don't know, I was always tuned into politics. I was a weird guy. I was on the debate team and the hockey team, so weird combination. But Dadman, did you ever play the demonic D&D game?
Sorry, I had to mute over on this side.
Oh,
no,
okay,
I didn't.
no.
I did it one time. I did it one time in high school or middle school. I didn't get it. It was too much work and thinking for me. They couldn't even get me in with the pretty dice at that point. But
I went, same year. I went to I was invited to a friend's house one night. Oh, and Steve knows this guy's name. His actual name was Roger Moore. And Roger Moore, when I was helping Carl run his shop back in the early '90s, I guess it was, Steve. He invited me over to his apartment and with his girlfriend and everything, and some friends to get me into D&D. And I went one time, and I just didn't really wasn't my thing. But Roger was very nice to do that. That was cool.
Roger actually, I don't know if he could do a British accent. This guy was tall, handsome, and muscular. He would have made a great
tall dude.
Tall. He was tall. He was good looking. Even I could tell, which is you got to be good looking. A man for me to be. Hey, Raquel.
Hey, Raquel. Yep.
Number
one. Let me play this for RTNZ. Thank you for the super chat.
And Clobby, that dude could hit hard.
You told me about that. He's a big, tall mother.
He was a big dude. He's very muscular, and he was. We sparred a couple of times, and he hits hard. Before I forget. You need to play the clip of Wallace Shawn.
Wallace Shawn. Oh, inconceivable, that one.
That's the one, yeah. In honor of his birthday being today.
Oh,
Inconceivable. 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 You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yes. Mrs. had that on her show this morning. Yep. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Awesome. Yeah. And then, of course, if
Happy
we're
80th
talking
birthday.
Wow.
we're talking gaming, we got to play this one. Where's
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
Great movie.
awesome? Yep. But I tried not to get
Brian
into the.
Brian Hepburn, brilliant dude. Brian Hepburn says, just scrolled away from me. Roger Moore is from New Orleans. I guess he was a saint. Beautiful.
That's
That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Brilliant joke. That is
Good
really
stuff.
good.
I like that.
Time for the win so far tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
That's
anyone else
good.
can top that.
That's
Hey, Dad.
top notch. Yeah.
darn good.
Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom.
Larry, if you ever meet him at Wallace Shawn and talk to him about my dinner with Andre, you will make a friend, because I talked to him about it. And we talked for like 5 minutes, and I said, I'm really enjoying this, but the people behind me are going to kill me if I don't let them get their license, or get their license. Their autographs. Yeah. So, JT Kirk
Nice.
I didn't even know that JT Kirk was here. Is he leaving?
Is it here? Oh.
All
right, dude.
Oh, he's dropping a like. Yep. Thank you. He's dropping the
Says-
clams.
Says good
All
to
right, dude.
Yay,
Another
clams.
member. Thank you. Yep.
I love clams.
Claudius. I just saw Claudius as well. Yeah. Oi can do a British accent. That dude, you're typing an Australian accent.
Hail to Claude, as Raquel's R.M. Briggs says.
The
Yep.
other.
Yeah,
other.
with the R.M.
I mean,
Briggs.
Raquel, so we always have a spare Raquel
two.
around.
But if you guys don't know what's been happening in D&D, there's been a lot of controversy, like orcs and certain
It started in the
creatures.
80s, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gone overboard now. So Gygax is there's a lawsuit between them now.
Of the
and
devil.
It's just just saying that everything was all the is basically about the game. And of course, when you're they apologize and remove the is tones from a new book. I mean, but when you say that, then you're saying that the creators were is and phobes too, which is nuts. I mean, when I was playing, it was like we're always the outsiders, the geeks and the nerds were playing D&D, and everyone hated us. I mean, you never even thought of that with the game, that they were just the bad guys. The orcs were the bad guys, or the bugbears, or the wyverns.
It's pathetic. I thought you were talking about how in the 80s all the churches hated the kids playing.
Oh yeah. That was
now,
that was part of it too. But
now it's
kind of went away.
And now it's the woke crowd that hate it.
Yeah. So it's that stuff. Like I went to Catholic school, so we covered the monster. I could see where people would see like demons and stuff, on the books and in the pages. But you could be a paladin fighting those demons, so it wasn't. It's just like the whole Tipper Gore, music thing. I think parents have rights, and you can put warning labels on things. That's fine, but when you get into the realm of censorship, but at least so parents know, hey, what's in here, and this, so that parental advisor, I think, is fine, but they wanted to ban Ozzy Osbourne, saying he was promoting self-deletion when the song was basically against taking drugs and alcohol. I can't say the name of the song on here, but self-deletion solution was not about encouraging kids to do that. But
well, then you look at some of the stunts he did on stage, that too on top of it. I mean, he had a perfect way to criticize him and easy demonize something like that. About the famous bad incident.
I mean, he was pretty creepy, and he was pretty scary, as was Alice Cooper before he, almost died and then, became saved. which is still funny to me to see Alice Cooper, doing the makeup and doing the shows. And, I don't think he sings I Love Death anymore, but then, he prays with people after the show. And, it's a fun contradiction. But anyway,
So
you said you weren't going to get political tonight.
Well, I'm just, not talking about it in depth or taking it, I'm not doing I'm just saying what's happening basically. But it's just when you look at stuff, from today's mores, and then you try to judge people in the past or 30 years ago, even what was acceptable. I don't even think they did anything that was unacceptable. I mean, I don't, it was far.
Well, it used to be that there was freedom of speech and freedom of thought. Those days are so long gone.
Yeah, well, I wonder how much we ever had it, but yeah.
Well, no. I mean, look at a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty free speech, which you couldn't do today. I mean, even Tropic Thunder you couldn't do today.
Well, a couple years ago they had the Fathom events. They had Blazing Saddles back in the theater, and we went just to see. Well, we wanted to see it anyway, especially on a big screen. But we went to partially to see, did they edit it? No, they didn't. They miraculously they played it as is, which we were kind of like, oh man, that's a surprise. But it was good.
Oh, and Larry's here. He says, I love Raquel Welch and Briggs.
Larry.
And hopefully our Raquel SSG too is in the chat too, Larry.
Yeah.
But Alice Cooper was hilarious. Yeah. Alice Cooper was good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, well, Brian Hepburn, I grew up, listening to all those backward albums. Yeah. And I just watched the Red Dwarf album with the backwards planet. That was pretty trippy.
That's hilarious. Crazy.
It must have been fun to film.
I just realized that this morning while I was driving, there's a local classic rock station, and they have Casey counting them down. This week coming in at number 7.
They're replaying them.
And they had a long distance dedication, and they played I don't know the title of it. You and me ain't no superstar. You guys remember that one? What we are is what we are.
Is that the one where Casey Kasem goes off?
No.
They do rerun those. No,
but remember when he went totally bonkers?
Yeah. Well,
it's a classic.
Yeah, because they came. He had to do this this story about some child that was dying of cancer or something. And then he had to immediately go into and now here's Casey and the Sunshine Band.
No, it was a dedication to a dog that died, but that coming out of an upbeat song, and he was pissed.
Oh yeah. Which I mean, I get it. It's like, if that's kind of disrespectful to somebody's feelings to go right to from. So although I think he went a little too Christian Bale.
He often did. That wasn't the first time.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's.
And I know we were talking about Jumping the Shark, but any of you youngins don't remember this. So Fonzie, this is considered when Happy Days, when you hear the phrase "jump the shark," Happy Days had been on way too long and didn't have any stories to tell anymore. And Fonzie was jumping a shark on water skis.
A guy wrote a book about that, and he used this to be the template for any time a show that was good turned bad. It means the show jumped the shark, and that's where
And this was just after or somewhat after Jaws came out, and was
everything was Jaws back then.
Remember Jabberjaw, and DC had a
slightly
killer shark character or something like that.
Not only that, they had like tons of comics covers where there were superheroes fighting sharks and stuff.
Yeah, sharks were everywhere.
And of course, Fonzie's wearing the leather jacket as a joke with shorts. He's got the jacket on.
Don't you know he wore the leather jacket in the shower? Never took it off.
I guess. Never took it off. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I love Henry Winkler, but he was considered the most macho guy in America. If he's just got a new book out now. I think it's called Being Fonz. I mean, look it up.
Look at that Jaws poster with him on there. That's hilarious.
He's a super nice guy.
Oh, super nice. Yeah.
But he's about 5'3".
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like he's not, it was his whole personality and how intimidating he was. But today you'd see him, even like Lou Ferrigno at 70 is still pretty big. But I think his book is called Being Fonzie. It's just Being Henry, excuse me. Oh, reload. Why can't it be released?
Yeah, I met Ferrigno is a shadow of his former self, although still in better shape than most people. But I met him when I was in high school, back when he was still like 275 pounds. I'm 6'1". I used to be 6'2", and I don't generally feel little. He made me feel like Henry Winkler. The dude was humongous.
Yeah.
Shaking his hand. I've told Clive this before. Shaking his hand was like shaking a catcher's mitt. He was humongous. But then I met a friend of mine. Was one thing I will say about Henry Winkler is very cool is he didn't sit behind his table to sign autographs. He came in front of his table and shook hands with everybody and signed an autograph. And he's signing an autograph for my friend Celeste. Then he turns around and extends his hand to me and says, "Hi, I'm Henry Winkler." And I said, "Yeah, I know." Of course. But I was surprised. He's a diminutive, very economical person. He's
I mean, he was considered the most macho guy in America at that time. He's such a now of course when everyone ages, but like you said, he's a very slight guy, but his persona and his acting, and he couldn't ride a motorcycle. And I think he crashed or dropped the bike a few times. They said that's it. So if you notice in later episodes, the bike is, like just standing there. The scene is like right there because he hurt himself, I think.
No, I don't think he hurt himself. Well, at least the story that
he dropped his bike. I heard he kept dropping the bike and falling.
No, what I heard was from him actually was that the insurance for when he became the star of the show, the insurance companies refused to write an insurance policy if he was on the bike. So that's why they had it, or if the bike was in motion or something. The guy, I think, who the bike, no, I'm not sure, but I saw an interview with him recently where he said, no, he didn't say that. He said that when he became the star of the show, that the insurance companies would not underwrite an insurance policy for him. He basically became.
I remember seeing something where he was saying he couldn't ride the bike too, like one of those an interview, but
right,
it's been a while. So
what I
but that he was like he's like, I'm definitely not the Fonz. He's like, I'm not a good motorcycle ride,
Yeah, he's not even Italian.
Yeah,
he's Jewish, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But nice guy, just a very, very little guy, but very, very friendly, very nice. As
Lemon Pie says, second time I've heard Fonzie jump in the sharp mention today. What are the odds? I don't know. Dadman, can you calculate them for me? Aren't you? You're good at maths, or?
Never tell me the odds. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, good one. I've never computed them, Captain.
Yeah. If you want C-3PO, where it's like 9,463,000 to 1, but I'm not C-3PO, so I'll take the Han Solo. Don't never tell me the odds.
Vulcans never bluff.
But Winkler's been in a lot of great movies. It was Lords of Flatbush.
He was the football coach of the really, really bad team on The Waterboy.
Okay, yeah, and of course he was in later on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Wasn't he a Night Shift?
Oh, not Curb, Night Shift.
Night Shift. I really like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, Night Shift's a classic. Ron Howard directed that, or was that?
Yeah, Ron Howard, Night Shift, Michael Keaton. Fun movie.
That's a classic. Yeah. Brian Hepburn, of course. I'm catching up to the chat. Of course, he's got it in there too. Yeah, and Styx is awesome. Yeah, Styx is awesome too. The rock band. Yep. Prog Rock gets made fun of. Yeah. Well, they had all those shirts like Fonz for president. Archie Bunker for president. Yeah. Fonz versus Rocky.
Let me up you. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Fonz didn't have to fight. He just used the thumb, right? He would have beaten up Rocky.
We loved us some Fonzie back then.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. They were both in Lords of Flatbush together, weren't they? They were.
Yeah.
Stallone.
That's right. Yeah, along with Richard Gere was in that movie. Or no, I think he was originally in the movie and he walked off because he didn't get along. He didn't get along with Stallone. Was Jeff Conaway in that movie or somebody?
I don't know.
I don't know. There aren't a lot of Italian actors in Hollywood. It's basically Ralph Macchio and Sylvester Stallone. Am I missing anybody?
Matt Dillon.
Ferrigno.
Matt Dillon.
Dylan? I think isn't that Irish?
I don't know. I'm just making it up. It just sounded like.
Oh, that's a
I know.
good
I know his parents named him after Matt Dillon from TV.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he said in some interview. They love Gunsmoke, so they already had the last name in place, I guess. So could be made up.
Claude says Henry Winkler was awesome in Barry.
Barry.
Oh, Al Pacino.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard
Brian
that's
Hepburn.
good.
Pacino, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Barry?
Arrested Development. That's what I meant to say. I'm just trying to find his list of credits, but he's got
Barry.
he's got-
What movie's Barry? Is that a movie or a show?
It's a TV show on Stars, I think.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Hadn't
Well,
seen
he's
it.
been on. Let's see, filmography. Huh?
I guess
Let's
for a little
check
while
out
there was
Franz-
Lyle Alzado.
Let's see. He was in Lords of Flatbush.
Right.
Everyone would know. Night Shift. Oh, Young Sherlock Holmes. Oh, producer. Sure Thing, which is one of the all-time greatest movies. He was a producer on that one. I got to do a watch party with that. Scream, like someone had mentioned before, he was the principal. They had Waterboy, Little Nicky. So working with Adam Sandler. Holes.
Oh,
That was a pretty good Disney movie, I thought. Yep. Click. Let's see. Let's see if I remember any of these. What's that one? Comedy film. Yep. Remember that? Yep.
Donald Trump.
That's cool.
What Trump thing was he in? Oh, that's a documentary or something.
Oh, he was in Black Adam.
Yep.
I forgot that.
He was the Al Pratt's uncle. He was the original Adam.
Okay.
He was Al Pratt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Wait, I'm sorry, Al Pratt. The name rings a bell, but I don't know who he is.
He was the original Golden Age Adam.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, my mind was thinking of actors' name.
He was only on the phone talking to his son who played Madam Smasher. Who would set him up. So yeah,
it works too with his size being Al Pratt.
yeah, he was. It was Yep, it does.
For those of you who don't know, the original Adam could not change his size. He was a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Had
Constant,
extreme fighting talent. Actually, Clobby, he's my brother. My big brother is like a half a foot shorter than I am, but he'd go to in wrestling and martial arts. He was good at everything he tried. Tim was a super athlete, Clobby, and he fought big guys and would knock him out of the ring.
How's he doing? All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Been a while. Good.
Yeah. I guess he's doing okay. I don't really hear from him that much either. So, but anyway.
The Fonz has been a lot of stuff, Henry Winkler. Wow, man.
Oh, yeah. Stallone Death Race 2000.
Yeah.
Wow.
King of the Hill. I mean, yeah, he's typecast, but he got out of the typecast. And, of course, then he went into producing and behind the camera, too, as well.
Yeah,
I think Ambushbug.
I think I'm the only person in the world.
That's right.
Although you might have to be Italian. That I think we mentioned this before. That he was in. He was starred in Oscar about a gangster in the Roaring '20s who.
Handy
I like that. That was a good movie. Yeah.
You may have to be Italian to get it. I don't know.
Handy Manny. That was a voice role in a kids show. I didn't realize that show was that old. My kids were young then.
It was cool. He was Ambush Bug, of course, on the very last episode of Batman Brave and the Bold, which was greatness. Yeah. Love that episode. Sad though it was.
Yep.
Who's Bubba Hotep?
That's a great Bruce Campbell film. With Gus Corelli directed it. Wait, was he in Bubba Hotep? Who's talking about that?
Hungry Boy said we need a Winkler to do an old Fonz version of Bubba Hotep.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Bruce Campbell was basically he was playing an aged Elvis Presley that he'd let the world think he was dead long years ago, and he went in he was in the old folks' home, being menaced by a zombie. By a mummy, actually.
Oh,
it was great.
thought you were going to say Bruce Lee and Elvis, or Bruce Lee and who else? People don't want to believe is dead. I forget.
JFK also was played by Ossie Davis in that.
The former the former district attorney of Baton Rouge.
No, that's O.C. Brown, but no.
OC, that's right.
You know the actor Ossie Davis.
I don't know him.
Oh, he's a pretty good actor, and he plays.
Ossie?
Love Bubba Hotep.
Not Ozzy, but Ossie.
OSSIE, I think. Ossie Davis.
Right, the one and only. You're right, Claude. Wow, Claude pulled one out. Henry Winkler played an actor who became a wrestler in the one and only, co-starring Hervé Villechaize.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Well, we promised we don't want to disappoint everyone. We promised we'd talk a little bit about our favorite movie that we saw this weekend, The Marvels.
Which is a perfect cue for me to take my leave. Parting
Oh
is
no!
such sweet
Did I
sorrow.
scare you away?
Yes.
Well, I told you I wasn't going to be around that long anyway because I'm waking up around 4:30 these days, and so I'm pretty shot. You got to remember
Why don't
I'm
you tell us why you don't want to see it? Because that is kind of applicable to this movie not making a lot of money.
Oh, you kids, get off my lawn! I mean, I'm about to turn into that guy. If you're gonna... The reason that there's so many reasons. Number one is, well, I heard from a friend of mine who is pretty. How can I put this? He has a pickup truck and drinks a lot of beer. Let's leave it at that. And he said it wasn't that bad, but I'm not going to shell out whatever a movie is for not ticket is these days for not that bad. I don't like Brie Larson, and I won't support her because she said a lot of pretty hateful things about pretty much everybody who's not Brie Larson. I think that the way that the female characters, and maybe it's different in this one, but they never had to have a character arc. They just boom, you're a girl, so you're stronger than everybody else. You didn't have to, have a piece of shrapnel lodged in your chest or turn into a potentially murderous monster. When you get angry,
Exactly.
or use your powers only to benefit yourself, and your surrogate father dies because of it. So, that's when people say, "Oh, you're a misogynist because you don't like female strong characters." It's like, no, I don't like characters that don't have to work for it.
Why do you hate women?
I'll watch Ripley all day long, or Sarah Connor, or but the men have to work through. That's why Jackie Chan movies do so well. Jackie Chan just doesn't sail through his movies. He always gets beaten down, and he has to climb his way back up to the top. He has to earn it. And the Marvel women don't have to earn anything. They're just, oh, you silly, stupid men. Why don't you just connect them sequentially? Oh, because we're men and we didn't think of that. Well, I'm a 19-year-old African girl, so of course I'm smarter than the two smartest men on the planet.
Exactly. Oh,
so plus, and Claudia and I were having this discussion beforehand. I don't like any version of Captain Marvel that doesn't involve a magic word and a wizard and a little boy. I didn't like Marvel. Claudia does. We're not going to agree on everything. We're different people. And we may have read different issues written by different writers. But I've never liked a Marvel version like Ms. Marvel, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, Marvel, it's a company in search of a character for their name, in my opinion. And
true.
Till
Hell, Joe Dog.
Hail, Joe Dog. I'm just being an old man here, griping. So if and when Disney ever gets back on track, which they may not, because personally, I think when Walt's nephew, Roy E. Disney, left the company and subsequently passed away, I think that Disney is completely disconnected from that company. And I think they should change their name.
Yep.
They have nothing in common with the Walt Disney Company except for owning those properties, which, Rachel Ziegler is dissing, saying, oh, it's weird, it's creepy, and, love story, oh, yuck. We just want her to be a girl boss. be the leader she was meant to be. You know? And it's like, who you? Some people like love stories. You know? Some people think that finding true love is a great thing in life and more important than bossing people around. So that's I should you know how I am. I just realized I'm those old. I'm Statler and Waldorf rolled into one.
There you go.
Are you afraid of dying after watching this show? Oh!
We can't go anywhere. They got us bolted to the floor, you fool. Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, Claudia, we should start a YouTube channel. So that is why I will not see the Marvels unless Clavi comes back and says, "Hey, it was pretty good."
Well, you're in danger of that, buddy.
Have you seen it, Clavi?
Oh yeah.
Of course you did. The other thing is that maybe this is what Mark wanted me to say was I won't give my money to Disney because I don't want to send that message to them that another $13 or whatever it's pulled in.
$20.80 where I live.
20. It's like $9 here.
Yeah, we paid $9 a ticket.
And you rented the whole theater for the missus.
Well, a few people did show up in the end.
They
crashed our party, but yeah.
You posted a picture. You were the only two in the movie theater, right?
Yeah, we were for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Still know what you expect for the opening weekend of a big major production.
That's crazy.
Is that what you were referring to? You saw it when you said there was nobody in the theater?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You did see it? Okay, so I'm the only one who hasn't seen it. So
I'll tell you, part of it is I did field research today because I knew it would be come up. And I think, at least I feel that, if I'm going to pontificate or say something, I should at least watch it. So at least that's my personal
feeling. If you're going to review something, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say it's not worth reviewing.
Well, okay. You got opinions. No, I agree. We all have opinions. Exactly.
I admit I have never shied away from the fact that I am very opinionated.
Yep.
That's what this will say on my.
But I'd say in general, as I get older, though, I'm learning more and more lessons where I say that a lot, and there are times
that Steve's opinionated.
No. That I say that. Well, I won't do this or that, but I realize later that maybe sometimes I'm missing out if I don't try something. Now it all depends on context and time. It's just a general thought or rule of life. It's up to everybody. Your mileage may vary. You do what you do in your own cases, but I'm a little more willing as I'm getting older to try things. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So
I'm the other way around. But part of it is that I have a small child, so I'm being more frugal, let's say, or more cheap. I've only seen two movies. Was it 2019 that Endgame came out?
Mm-hmm.
And I've only seen one movie in the theaters.
Seems like
then.
forever now. Yeah.
I bought The Batman on DVD and surprisingly liked it a lot more than I thought I would, despite its problems. But and that's all I have seen. So part of it is that I'm just cheap. And
there's nothing wrong with that. That I understand. I understand that very much.
Yeah.
That's why half the time we go early in the day at matinees. We don't go at night when it's full price anymore, unless rare cases or we get a free ticket. So.
And matinees are fun because you have the whole theater to yourself. A
lot of times, yeah.
Yeah. What time did you go? Did you go today, Dad? Man, that was
5:20 p.m.
And that still counts as a matinee, or
yeah, we were on the $9. We were on the tail end. Anything before 6.
Before 6, okay. Yeah. Our way, it's usually just the first show, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they do 2 matinees, or the first 2 shows. But normally it's just like the first one of the day.
Yeah.
But,
before I cut out, I think our TNZ Railroad Tune says Carol Danvers had a really rough ride in the early 80s. I didn't read those stories, obviously.
Oh, those are good stories, yeah.
Lost everything, had to put herself back together. But why draw on source material written by the pros when you can just make up nonsense?
Yeah, that's true.
I think I struck the proper tone when I read that.
That's pretty much right.
Yeah. So, And with that, I will take my leave.
Good to
And
see you as always, Steve.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, because I know
right,
Lemon
bud.
Pie was in and Raquel. And I will. Oh, by the way, yeah, I wake up pretty early these days, which is why everybody sees me in the beginning of Clavi's channel. I'm like, hey, hail everybody, and then I just disappear. I usually wake up an hour later with either you guys saying good night or the thing's already over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's okay, bro. We're just glad to see it. Just glad to see you here tonight, man.
Absolutely, Steve.
Yep.
It was great being with you guys.
Don't oversleep. Yep.
Thank you, Hungry Boy. Maddie will give her best to you too. Oh, let me brag really quick for the people that know Maddie, because some of the people on the chat always ask about her. We had our first parent-teacher conference. I don't know if I said this backstage or not. And her teacher said I have to keep reminding myself that Maddie is only 3 because she's so far ahead of the other children. So I'm very proud of her.
Oh, come on. You're a biased parent there.
That wasn't me speaking, though. That was I fully admit that I'm biased,
yeah.
But the teacher said that, and Maddie had 100% on everything, except for I think willingness to compromise. In other words, Maddie's very she's stubborn, and I kind of like that about her. So anyway, so Dave C, Brian Hepburn, Don. Good night, everybody. Hungry Boy.
Good night.
Good night, bud.
Mighty
Good
Thor.
night,
Gentlemen,
Steve.
and,
Get you next week, hopefully.
Alrighty, take care, guys. I'll
Good
see
night,
you
bro.
on I'll see you on Clavi's channel tomorrow night until I fall asleep.
Fair enough.
Good night, Thor. Yep. So yeah, it was fun. He said he wasn't going to talk about Miss Marvel. We got him to talk about it, which is awesome.
Well, he found a good avenue to take on it, though. I will say that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, good stuff. Good stuff. Yep. Yep. But yeah, no, that I do like the Ms. Marvel comic books. From the 70s and. Of course, the original Captain Marvel. That's a fantastic story. The death of Captain Marvel. It wasn't considered a graphic novel, right? Clever and Towns.
Yeah, it was the first Marvel graphic novel.
It was considered a graphic novel.
It was the very first actual Marvel graphic novel. Very first mainstream graphic novel. There have been some other ones by Star Reach and some other independent or smaller companies. But the very first mainstream comic book graphic novel is Marvel graphic novel #1, The Death of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, no news. Well, I guess was it sold on newsstands or was it
only comic shops.
Bookstores? Only comic.
And the first part of the 20,000 or so of them burned up in a printer's fire.
That's right. So there's not that many of them either, right?
No, they ended up making more.
The first edition. No, the first edition.
In print. Yeah, even that they were able to make more. But yeah, it delayed things.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting stuff. I remember selling it and just remember getting it the first time it came out. When it first came out, it was great.
And Don Ranger Power is here. It says Trek Yards raid. Awesome. Yeah, it's a great channel too. Trek Yards and Trek Yards guy. Yep. Thank you for being here, Don Power Ranger. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw Captain Marvel, but let us know. But yeah, and of course Dadman saw. Well, Dadman, why don't we start with you? Because I've heard Clobber and Tom's take on it. What was your view of Captain Marvel and the misses?
Me first. First. Well, hey, I'm not sure what Clobby thinks. I guess you'll go last for your opinion. Well, I know because I didn't normally. I wait for you to see because I know you're a fair guy to. When you give room and grace, it's like, hey, it's worth trying. Like Shang-Chi was one, and things like that. But honestly, with this movie, I liked the movie. I thought it was okay. Maybe it's because I don't know the lore of the stuff. I think, is it perfect? No. I think it missed. I don't think it had the woke elements, the rah-rah super Ray elements. I think especially the girl, she acted like a teenager. Actually, once nearly almost was really severely harmed. I mean, each one had their own warts and their past they had to overcome. there was some gaudiness in it. Even the missus and I were talking about it at times, and she some things didn't hit her right. But a lot of these movies, they will have some stupid stuff in it. I mean, they can't help it. But for all the wailing and gnashing of teeth and the predictions and stuff, and I've watched The Village. I've watched Ant-Man. The last Ant-Man, my God, was horrible. Was much worse with this. Endgame, honestly, I guess was a movie it had to be. I found myself liking and more involved in this than Endgame, honestly. We can go into more. I don't know that you want to do spoilers or anything, but because without doing that, I can't
put my spoiler. Let's put up the spoilers.
Well, I my problem is recall sometimes, but honestly, I enjoyed this movie. Now, I say that with the caveat that if you're more into the materials, if you're into the things, it's like me as a Star Wars person. They mess with with Trek. When Jar Jar did his crap with Trek, I was like, hey, that's not big because I was not into the Star. But then when he messed with Star Wars, yeah, it was more personal. I found things like that. But as somebody that doesn't know a lot about Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, all this stuff, it was an okay movie. And honestly, I think one of the things it did is because it didn't have a lot of the messages in it that we all prejudge these movies having and stuff, it being heavy-handed, political, and stuff like that. And I think maybe that surprise kind of made it a refreshing and not what I expected to walk into. So, was it a perfect movie? No, in no way. But what movies are? But it was not what I expected to. A train wreck. It was actually. Miss and I were talking about. I mean, it definitely was more enjoyable than the last Ant-Man movie that we both ridiculed in the theater. It was horrible, and even Cocaine Bear this ain't Cocaine Bear good level, but it was entertaining. I will say, good for a night out, and maybe it's because I was surprised, but I say that understanding as somebody that's not into the lore of the comic books of things like that. Maybe that's who they're trying to reach, but I also look for these political messages very closely. I didn't see them. So, but hey, that's me. This is one I will say. I honestly believe that don't judge the rumors on the street. Judge it for yourself. You may like it, you may hate it. I mean, but don't go pay for the movie if you don't want to. Fine. Hey, just if it's free, if it comes in on TV, hey, give it a chance. It might surprise you. Now, at least that's for me, but I know you guys have different ideas and y'all have a lot more expertise in the source material because I do understand with the source material. But I'm also one that understands with Star Wars. I love the EU and love it to death. And I think that they should have kept a lot of the EU stuff. But as that, I think beholden plot by plot with every single story from the EU would have made for bad movies going forward. You do have to have some elements of some different things like that. Like in the EU, for me, it's like keep it on the Skywalker bloodline, the Solos and the Skywalkers. Well, Jar Jar and Disney said forget that, and they went into Super Ray, and that's where it jumped the shark, to borrow that term. Hey, who heard it? Lemon Pie heard it twice. Well, you heard jump the shark a third time today because they said they truly threw the spirit of all of it out. And maybe they did with this that you guys may know more, but as a movie by itself, not knowing, walking in, I thought it was a nice popcorn movie, but hey.
Well, I'm kind of surprised by that, but that's okay. Yeah, if you like the movie.
Believe me, I'm surprised too. Surprised too. But I really went
speechless.
Tonight. I really went tonight, honestly, to be fair with everything. Like I tried to be fair with Ahsoka. I tried with that show, but God, I couldn't get into it. It was so bad. It was even bad television. Now, I understand there's probably points and specific things that more specific, you guys will pull this apart, and I'd love to hear it. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to defend this movie, but I mean, for me as a viewer, I've spent worse money, like The Village, Blair Witch Project, Ant-Man Quantumania. I can tell you the movies I wasted. This one was not as bad. This one I felt like I was entertained by the end of it. I just wish my wife would have kept cuddling. I'd have stayed warm, but anyway, she moved. but that's my overall assessment. And if y'all want to get into the scenes, we can get into scenes because there are some parts that are stupid or far-fetched. Mrs. had complaints with some things in the movie, but
Oh, Raquel is headed out. So good night,
Good night,
Raquel.
Raquel.
Yep, thank you for
Good night,
hanging out
Raquel.
with us. Much appreciated. Yep.
But
Take
anyway,
care and have a
I'll
great
stop
great
talking.
week.
I'll turn it to
that's all
you.
right.
I'll turn it
Princess
to you
Fiona has a
experts.
question for you.
Oh
I
boy,
think.
No, drunk was he?
I wasn't drunk. I know. I honestly, seriously went in to give it a shot. That's
Yeah.
why. Mark,
Well, at least you
know,
can be honest too,
I've
which I
always,
appreciate that.
and I've always said, and as I was saying, as I get older, don't judge it based on what other people do. Go, I think you guys have said it too. It's up for you guys to make up your own mind. And honestly, this is another case where a lot of, and I understand the MC concept. We've seen it. I agree that it's there and stuff. I didn't see it in this movie. And that's one of the problems with taking all these internet and YouTube rumors and all this stuff beforehand and running with them is that, they could be wrong in the end. And this is not the first one. I know Shang-Chi had its faults and all, but Mark, I think that's one you might have looked at favorably, I believe. I think, but when I was the missus and I watched that and we heard there's woke or this, and we're like, where do we see it?
It was all over. His sister was kicking
Well,
everybody's
we didn't
ass. She was perfect and brilliant and wonderful, and everybody else was crap.
Yeah.
It's in Shang-Chi even far more than it is in the Marbles.
No, it just,
The woke crap, I mean.
Okay.
No, but I appreciate you being honest too, because sometimes, people are scared.
But see, Princess Fiona said Moonfall. Moonfall there. I'm sorry to jump your chat there real quick.
No, go
I
ahead.
loved Moonfall.
What is that?
It's basically the moon came in, affected the Earth. It was
is that a new movie?
the sci. No, it's a couple years ago. The sci-fi was so bad, and it just everybody.
It was
just so
I don't know
over
if I
the
remember
top.
that one.
But it was a movie I enjoyed. So sometimes
sometimes there's cheesy movies that you end up loving that other people don't. Oh, it's a disaster film starring Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen it.
Roland Emmerich.
Maybe I heard of it.
It's kind of like an Armageddon type movie.
An Emmerich movie. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I love Armageddon. Yeah, it's got one of the greatest lines in movie history. Yeah,
Really?
they don't want to pay taxes ever again.
Yeah, that is a good line, but still,
that's a great. I just love the movie. I love Armageddon. I love everything about it. Yeah, it's just I don't care. It's like Dadman said. It's just a great time in the movie theater, and yeah, it's stupid and some of the stuff in it, but it's just a fun movie. Bruce Willis is great, great in there. So yeah, but it's but it's always good to get your opinion out and be honest. I mean, I thought the movie was a mess, although I did think that and I've said that before, the girl playing, well, now it's Ms. Marvel, but it was before, Kamala Khan. I thought she was she's always had a great energy and a great ability to act, and you can feel her as you can see how much she loves it. She does genuinely love the character. She actually wrote a story in the comic book, so she's got a great energy. Brie Larson, I just think, is a total miss.
Well, I will say that too. The missus said I could share some things, but it's like we did agree with Brie Larson. It doesn't matter what she does. Even when she emoted in the scene she cried, it's still like whatever. But I like the teenager. I mean, she came off as a teenager. We both liked the teenager, the girl. I mean, she was fangirling at one point. It just, there's a lot of stuff a teenager might normally do in that case. The one thing with Rambeau was that one scene where it almost looked like she was I think going into the near the end, it was like that might have been an NC-17 movie, the way it was being shot or filmed. It just there were some things that we didn't like with the acting and the characters, but I mean, hey, listen, I'm the guy that is just
not has no charisma as that.
It is. I even tried to give her grace. Mrs. harder than I was, because I mean, she, we find out she's trying to undo a past mistake, so I kind of let that pass for the actress herself. But hey, I'm the guy that liked Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds one, so but, hey, I don't mind.
Oh boy.
No, actually, I saw it before ever talking to Ash about it.
Yeah,
it's like, but then again, I've also always started for Green Lantern stuff until Clobby told me about the animated series, which was wow. That was a shame they quit making that one. That was the best.
Yep.
And Brian says Brie is good in Kong Skull. No, I did like that movie. I'm trying to remember what her character was like.
See, that's a movie I did not like.
I like that movie.
I know, it's funny.
The only part I didn't like was when the helicopters are fighting Kong and they forget they have a Z-axis.
Yeah.
Like when Kirk is fighting Kong, he says, Spock says, his method of attack indicates two-dimensional thinking, and then Kirk is like Z minus 10,000 meters. It's like you've got helicopters, you can go up like 500 feet, 600 feet. Khan can't jump that high, and you just hit him with rockets. Like
Yep.
always, that's a law of Gojira movies. All the helicopters and planes have to fly within arm's reach of all our favorite monsters, so they can get swatted down. Like, just take it up. Oh, Bree was the photographer. Okay,
She she didn't hurt it. She wasn't any good or anything. She didn't hurt the movie.
Fiona says she wasn't good. She was adequate. But hey, Geek and I.
She didn't destroy anything.
Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. And everyone, let's see, I got Geek and I's channel in here, I'm sure. Let me put his channel so everyone check out the Geek and I. I love that name. Great alliteration. But yeah, I mean, there are good moments in the movie. You can't, and as talking about Clobberin' Times last night, after or before Trek or, after the show a little bit too. Yeah, it's definitely not the worst Marvel movie. I mean, it's close. It's just, I think it's down at the bottom for me. It's down at the bottom, and I do like the teenage girl, and then meeting her heroes. The one question I have is, this might be nitpicking, but and I mentioned my buddy Chris, who we go to see every Marvel movie together. I think we've pretty much seen them all except Wakanda Forever. I wouldn't go see that, and I tried to start watching it at home, and I turned it off. But why does she idolize Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel is barely on Earth. I mean, she gets punched by Thanos. I wish I had that clip from Nick to play. And she's out in the galaxy the whole time. Like, how do you even know who Captain Marvel is? And why would you idolize her? A different story in the comics where she's, has many more Earth-based adventures. But how would even people know who Captain Marvel is? I mean, she's not there. And then by her own admission, she screwed up. And that was one of the great storylines in the Avengers when the Avengers killed the Supreme Intelligence. There was a big controversy about that, and it was debate about whether or not, I can't remember who was it. Tony Stark was against it or for it, or we got some great comic minds here. But if I'm butchering the storyline, but I just remember the huge controversy over the AI that's in charge of the Kree, which is you can have a brilliant storyline just around that.
Right.
So Captain Marvel goes and takes out the Supreme Intelligence, and this is kind of a quick flashback, which could have been, 20 minutes of an interesting segue, and they kind of just threw it away into 30 seconds of a description. And they had the Supreme Intelligence on there, which is pretty cool. It looked kind of like he did in the comics. And so she's atoning for taking out the Supreme Intelligence, which screws up the Kree, then starts the Civil War. I mean, those are some interesting, as people were mentioning in the chat, those are some really interesting storylines that were in the comics that could have worked really well. Dadman, you might not know about those, obviously. Oh, we got Phantom Outsider here. So
Fanty.
Fanty. And Pleasant Valley Picker says our superhero film's dead. So I don't know why she would idolize Captain Marvel in the MCU. Makes zero sense.
But again, assuming that it's after the snap and all that, there would have to be some remembrance of the character to some degree. And then
but she's never in the. She's never in the. No, my point is she's never in the MCU. She doesn't. You never see her. I mean, not even because of the snap. She's not. Nobody
on Earth even knows about her until she shows up and brings the ship back. The Milano back the ship with Tony Stark on it and Nebula on it at the beginning of Endgame.
Yeah.
They don't know who she is. She participated in the fight later. And other than the Avengers, no one even knows she's off Earth all the time. So no one even knows who the hell she is on Earth.
Well, sometimes people may attract to the mysterious characters. All they need to know is that there's that character out there. And some people find favorites with the very obscure
I don't think that's what Mark's saying. I think he's saying that there was no way they could have made her some big popular fan favorite person when really she had no publicity about the character whatsoever before that. They just did it because they don't understand what they're writing.
And it's probably one of those things that I'm willing to take a little bit on faith, though, and it depends on what perspective you come from. And it's like, there's no excuse. I'm that way with some of the things I watch too, but it just,
the problem is it's bad.
The one thing I did have problem
bad writing.
I will
bad
writing.
Bad writing.
I did have problem with the way they did that animated stuff at the beginning right there. I thought that was a little bit goofy and hokey the way
The movie was
thought that
made
was
for
fun.
13-year-old girls. Of course they did that. That's what it was made for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
and
but I can appreciate, looking at something and saying, yeah, you watch The Little Mermaid, which is a masterpiece by Disney, the original one. People don't throw clams at me.
The real one.
But you can I went to see that in the movie theater, and and then you see it with like your kids or something, but it works on multiple different different levels when you have great film like that where the story makes sense. But yeah, there's no way that Captain Marvel will be idolized by anyone on Earth, and that's just ridiculous writing, because they don't know, they haven't humanized her. I mean, it's just terrible, and it's just a huge oversight. And they're showing, the room with all this stuff and merchandise, and no one would
It's
buy
so
anything.
ridiculous. Well, they wouldn't know who
Yeah.
she is, first of all, other than maybe some of the authorities that were told about the fight and the battle. I mean, in fact,
Yeah.
she's so reclusive. Remember leaving Earth? She probably would have told the Avengers after an in-game battle, other than when she showed up for Tony's funeral, she'd be like, look, keep me out of this. I don't want people knowing about me, because she left Earth. Remember, she didn't want Monica to know about her. But that doesn't matter. Crap. These are horrible writers, and everything in the movie is horrible. It's horribly written. This movie is terrible. It's made. It's not the worst, but what does that say about how bad the other movies are? I only have it at like the 6th worst, and but it's still an awfully horribly written movie. Man, oh wow, I think I have it at 7th worst, and that's saying something. There are actually 6 worse of these MCU movies than that, and that's saying something. And it's still terrible, and there's nothing that makes any kind of sense. It's a bunch of stupid ass crap just strung together. It's an incoherent story. I hate to use the word story because there's really not much of one, and none of the action sequences make any kind of sense. And Nick Fury. I should say movie Nick Fury, because he's not the real Nick Fury. He's not the comic book Nick Fury. That's the real one. And that was the one that existed up before Ultimates. But I liked Samuel Jackson movie Nick Fury enough for when he was fine, even though it wasn't my Nick Fury per se. He was pretty good in the movies until they ruined him in the first Captain Marvel movie, then later finished the job with Secret Invasion. And yet he's not even the same guy from Secret Invasion. He's just a clown in this movie. I don't think, and someone's pointed
It was horrible what they did to Fury in this movie.
Someone has pointed it out, by the way. Did he have any dialogue that wasn't a dumb joke in the entire movie? There wasn't a stupid ass joke so out of character for him. I'm not sure if he had any one line of dialogue that had nothing to do with him making a dumb quip. He's a clown. He's supposed to be. Look how badass he was.
He doesn't do anything in the movie.
Look how badass he was in Winter Soldier, though. And he got to shine in that one. And he's pathetic.
That scene with the car, when this car armors up,
it was
and all this
incredible.
That was so awesome.
He was great in that movie. In this one, he's a joke. Breeze is a breeze. He's just boring any way you look at her. The girl Kamali, I agree with everyone. She's got a nice energy to her. She's trying. It's not her fault. Monica's just sort of this there. I never was a big fan of that character one way or the other, but a lot of people are. I get it. It's just the movie makes no sense. It has probably one of the worst villains I've ever seen, if not the worst villain. And it certainly, and
is she even a bad person? I mean, is she even in the movie? Basically,
they sex swapped Dar-Benn, who was not even a good villain anyway. They don't even know what the Negabands are.
Garbage bin.
Dar-Benn.
Oh,
Dar-Benn.
a garbage bin.
Yeah, exactly. Garbage movie. But the movie is just absolutely atrocious, and it says something. I got to admit, it's only like the 7th worst of these movies. It's how bad they are. So I got to admit.
I was sitting there with my buddy. We were kind of like, a lot of this movie didn't make sense, but it was a terrible. I think I hear what Dadman's saying. It's just not a good.
Well, by the way,
for me, it was not a good movie, just in terms of.
But see, then
narrative,
honestly, as a movie that. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say something. One point is, when you were talking earlier, Dadman, about you said you're not much of a comics fan, or otherwise you might have different opinions. I don't know. I don't think and that's where I don't know Star Wars like you do, but I know Star Wars pretty well, and I hate those movies too. But the thing is, you can know nothing about comics and still there are many people who don't know anything about comics but enjoy a movie anyway. Like for example, say you know nothing about comics, but then you go see the first Iron Man movie, which a lot of people did who didn't know about comics, and they enjoyed it, and they do a damn thing. So you shouldn't have to know much. And then, in this case, I think this is subjectively a bad movie whether you know comics or not. Again, in my opinion, I know you liked it, but I'm saying it has nothing to do with anything that they screwed over in the lore. Like I said, it's poorly, horribly written characters, like what they do to Nick Fury and other things. I hate those things, but even if I didn't care about Nick Fury, this is just objectively a piss poor, horribly written, horribly put together movie.
And you use the word subjective. That's why it gets to differing opinions, because everybody has a different view of what is good or order. I did not have a problem with the pacing, the orders, and stuff like this. I've seen movies like that. The Pelican Brief is one of the worst that I've ever seen of a John Grisham novel about all out of whack of sequences and stuff. This I thought it was it kept my attention. I thought it moved from one to the other, introduced the characters pretty good throughout the movie. There were the hokey parts. I've seen bad movies. I mean, I sat through The Village. The last Ant-Man was so bad, and the god awful CGI in it, trying to bring all these Supermans and stuff back. It just was a dumb, horrible movie. Some of these more, and I tell you, I was not a big fan of Endgame. This movie, though, I can't explain it. I know I'm going to be in the minority, and it's, I was entertained by it. I liked it. It kept my interest. Mrs. thought she'd go to sleep. She didn't. And, I respect it. But I do respect everybody's ideas and their opinions. So, because
you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to be defensive about it, dude. And you liked it. That's cool. I mean, look at for example.
Listen, I wanted to hate this movie going in. I really did. But like I said, I try to go in with everything fair with an open eyes to give it a fair shot. And I wanted to hate this movie. I wanted to hate Ahsoka, but Ahsoka didn't disappoint with that. But there were some scenes in this, like one of the scenes I know that bothered the missus was there's that Asian actor in the one planet with the water
singing.
She thought that was stupid and that it wasted that actor's talent. That it was horrible. And so, like
the other thing I have to bring up is
there are parts that I did not like, but overall, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was just to say the planet with the water. What happened to the poor people on that planet? They lost all their water.
If you listen near the end, if you heard at the end, I think Fury talked to the one guy about what's happening about them, and they said that they were sending scientists out there, that they were going to be, the planets were going to be healed, is what they.
Well, I don't know how you're going to do that, because he took all the water to make the other planet live, and they kind of just left.
Maybe they grow water. I know, and then granted, it is kind of one of those convenient explanations, but
the other thing they didn't. Poor writing. They should have addressed that during the movie, or had the characters react to that, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we failed," or they just kind of sail off into the sunset there, and you don't even know what's happening, like with these fractals with the worlds, and then finally you're figuring out, like, oh, I guess the water's all going from one planet to the other, but you're trying to. And I guess they chopped this movie up. This was not. I can't believe they spent $200 million on this movie. It did not look like a $200 million movie.
No, it didn't.
I mean, it could have been a D, maybe a D plus movie. But I'm looking at it, and I'm like, where did they spend the money on this? What happened here? I mean, it just didn't look that good. I mean, it just.
Well, listen. After Ant-Man, anything looked good. Hell, Cocaine Bear made Ant-Man look.
Yeah. It was bad, but even Ant-Man wasn't worse than this. But hey, Rocco the Brave, hello there.
Hey, Rocco.
Good to see you. And it was just awful. It was, to be honest with you, splitting hairs, it's about as bad as Ant-Man was. Ant-Man was pretty terrible. So, but it's
Rocco's mentioning Hero Finder in place. Yeah, so I think the young Ms. Marvel was well done and well written. He's saying entertaining because it didn't link to other movies in the MCU currently. Dealt with a relationship with Carol and an old friend. Yeah, the only link they had Valkyrie coming to take some Skrull refugees away, and that part was okay with Carol and Brie. But I just think Brie is not the best actress, unfortunately. But that was a nice moment there. I thought the flashback, that's probably one of the better scenes in the movie. The flashback when they're all linked together and they find out her mom tragically passed away while she was in the blip, which is horrific. I can't imagine, coming back and then finding out that your mom has passed away from cancer and she's looking for her mom. So that, there are bits and pieces I did think were good in this movie. I just think the overall narrative is not coherent enough, and it just the villain is just the problem is it's not fleshed out enough. I don't know what was cut out of this, but I mean, Carol is obviously screwed up in this by destroying the Supreme Intelligence, and there's not enough backstory given to that movie, or that
No,
should
they
have been
just plopped
fleshed
it out there. We didn't know this till
Yeah.
this movie, and they've been,
Yeah.
But another thing is they cut this. This movie was at 2.5, almost at 1 point hours, and then they cut it once. And they didn't like that either, so they eventually cut it to the shortest of all these movies. It's like 88 minutes. So they chopped a lot of stuff that they said, wow, this is bad enough. We got to make it short at least, because it made no sense. I mean, can you imagine how bad it must be to sit through a longer cut of this thing? Holy crap.
I do agree. Any longer, it would have been too much. I do agree. You can see why they shortened it. Because
I would have liked to see more of the Supreme Intelligence, though, and what happened with that.
Well,
that
if
part
you
of the story.
if you would
could
did that,
replace
if
20
you
minutes
had,
of that with something.
well, if you had done that, then maybe you could lengthen it. But with the way they went, you couldn't have added.
Well, I would have cut other stuff out. I would have cut other stuff out.
There might be better stuff than the end on the floor. You never know. But
Well,
your Muslim uncle.
Well, like what kind of stuff, Mark, specifically? Because I mean,
Well,
you
like
had the air
singing.
planet, but you had the air planet. Well, the thing was, they had to have a water planet though, because they elemental from what was it? The land, the water, and then eventually the sun. So they did it with the elements, and so what?
Hale could not be reached for further comments. Well, no, I mean, you could shorten something. You don't need that singing number. You don't need to have a singing planet. You can. There's ways to show. Sometimes I hate that dreaded montage, but you can show like a montage of how evil this villain is, and you need to have.
But
the villain had to
question.
Sure.
But what I know the singing could annoy. I know, but what about the singing? Was it the singing?
Well, didn't advance the narrative. It wasn't
but it gave you a unique perspective on a new culture, or new people, or something, a new planet.
Well, I'm saying, if I had a choice between seeing Carol fighting the Kree warriors and destroying the Supreme Intelligence for 15 or 20 minutes versus the singing planet, I'm cutting that singing planet out if time is a concern, or I'm showing a montage of how bad the villain is.
But you then would have to introduce the theft of the water, though, somehow, some way, wouldn't you?
Well, I could do it in 30 seconds. I could give you that in 30 seconds.
But which is more important to this movie? That the elements
I think
that are
showing
being
the
stolen,
Supreme Intelligence is more important, because that's showing the tragedy of Carol screwing up, and that's the whole point of this movie, is to try to show, that her hero's journey, and that's her big screw up, and that screw up is given too short of a thrift, I think, and that's a fantastic story in the comic books. Of course, it's not, it's with the Avengers in the comics, but that's a great story, and a big, huge controversy in that back in the day. That was a big controversy too, about what destroying that Supreme Intelligence. And of course, AI is much more prevalent today, and the notion of AI. So, I think that I would have liked to have seen more, and I want to see Kree kicking ass, and Kree Skrull War, or the Kree Civil War. I'd like to see that stuff more than this, cutesy. The singing wasn't as bad. Yeah, it wasn't good, but all right, maybe it wasn't as bad too. I laughed but it's harmless. But the pacing of the movie wasn't bad, at least being short. But it wasn't. I just didn't think the villain was not scary, right? You didn't care about the villain, and then you find out that maybe it's Captain Marvel screwed up, and this is all her problem. And Brie Larson, I don't think can carry the movie. She doesn't have a good presence. My opinion. Maybe some people think that she does, but I think I'm forgetting the young actress's name who does Ms. Marvel, and Monica, I think, are better actresses than her. So, I think it's she's too superficial, or just she's gorgeous. Obviously, she's very pretty. And obviously, my friend, we were joking during the movie theater we were watching. He's like, "How come she's always in her T-shirt, Captain Marvel, now? Whenever she's in the spaceship. Yeah. So
Yeah, the costumes were terrible, like really bad cosplay. They were awful, really terrible. It just had no pacing, and it had no villain. It had everything was. This was another point, but I forgot. I kept forgetting all these other points about how bad it is because it's just so bad. But I mean, really, they just didn't have much of a story. They decided it should have been this was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2. And she, what's her face? They were afraid, funny how all that quote unquote money that the first Captain Marvel was supposedly made, that they were afraid to make a sequel. Usually, if a movie makes that much money, it makes you wonder. That you think they would have been all hot to make a second one really quickly that told all this stuff, or that dealt with these things. Then by this time, you'd have up to the third one, and you would have the other characters in it. But no,
but then again, there was such a backlash against the first.
You can't carry the movie. Yeah, but
there was such a backlash. But then again, this is a way to kind of take all the attention off of Captain of Brie Larson. You've got these other two characters that brought up that they introduced to bring in.
Exactly my point, David. They claimed it made all these billions of dollars. But why is there such a backlash against the movie that made that money?
Because if the actress or actor is so polarized, you might need to get other support.
And yet it made $1 billion. So which is it?
Well, I think it was both. I think people may not come back the second time. Look how many people said they will not watch it because of that one actress.
I don't know how many people. How many?
Well, Marvel was riding, was the king of the world back then too. To quote Titanic,
of course, it was riding
an unstoppable ship. Yeah,
but they were still,
It's like when you watch TV shows and they'll put, say like, after Happy Days, they'll put Laverne and Shirley. And guess what? Laverne and Shirley is the number 2 show. Of course, Laverne and Shirley is a fantastic show. Don't sick Lenny and Squiggy on me, but it definitely helps when you have that lead in, especially a new show. And Hungry Boy says Brie is gorgeous. I think Brie Cheese is gorgeous. I think she's a very pretty lady.
I don't think she's bad looking either. I mean, I never said she was bad looking. I mean, she's not. I don't think she's even the worst actress. I don't think she's very good. But again, a lot of that could be on the script. I mean, a better director that could actually write a coherent script. She might have been okay in it if they had written the character correctly from the beginning. They just didn't. So she's really not that much different than she was in the first terrible movie. But the thing about this one is it doesn't really destroy things. Like it doesn't piss me off like the ones I have behind it. All the movies that I rated behind it, which were 6 of the movies. That's why I have it in 27th place of all. There are 33 movies in the MCU/MCU. And the 6 movies I have behind it all pissed me off big time. As a fan now, not in real life, but as a fan. Whereas this one doesn't. I had not much of a dog in the hunt. I didn't care. I really didn't want to go see it. I want to see it because a friend that I always take these movies. I've told you that before. So I really didn't have much of an axe to grind one week. I could have done without even watching it because this is made for children, for 13-year-old girls. It's not made for me, as Brie likes to say. It's not made for you. Hey, look. But I watched it, sat through it for the only time I ever will, and it's just judging it on that basis. It's a bad movie. If I knew nothing about comics, it's still just a bad, dull movie that I don't care. It's like incoherent, and I walked out of this one not angry. I was just like, wow, it's just awful, but I'm not angry. So therefore, I couldn't put it at the very back. Like people saying it's going to be the worst. It's going to be the worst performing financially of all these movies. And it's going to tank Marvel, at least for these movies going forward. Not that they won't stop making them. We'll stop making them completely. But I'm actually saying it doesn't make me mad. It doesn't, it didn't really piss me off. I don't really care a whole lot other than the fact that it's a bad. Anytime I see something that's bad, I got to at least call it out. However, I'll give it that. It doesn't destroy any characters because Nick Fury was already destroyed. She was already a horrible character, meaning Captain Marvel. I don't care about Monica either way. She was also kind of ruined with WandaVision. Anyway, from the get-go, and I don't care about Kamala Khan. So, in fairness to this movie, they didn't wreck or ruin anything because all the damage has already been done. It's just 8 minutes that I'll never get back, and I spent too much money on popcorn and a drink. So there you go.
Well, at least it didn't do like the Rise of Skywalker did.
Oh no,
double down on the damage.
Oh no, it's nothing like that. You're right, buddy. It's nothing like The Force Awakens, which is a piece of filth, or or The Last Dead Guy, or Ruse of Soy Walker. It's none of those things. It's mostly harmless. It's just, I still
You know
can't.
the worst thing. You know the worst thing.
Hmm.
I went to put salt in my popcorn, and they had a salt shaker that let out way too much salt, and my popcorn was ruined. I
Really,
should
we
actually
don't.
gone back. I have that AMC Stubs.
You should.
I
We don't
paid
even
for
have
that. I could have gotten a
popcorn.
refill.
You got salt?
We
They got a salt shaker for you guys? We don't give us a salt shaker.
No, it's went to butter too. You can add butter.
Yeah, they got butter machines. They got a butter dispenser, but no
Butter
salt.
flavored though. It's butter flavor. You
Oh no,
can't
we got
say
this
it's butter.
butter syrup thing you put in there.
Yeah, it's not real butter. But yeah, my popcorn was ruined too. So maybe that salted my opinion of the movie. But why did the parents go up to the space station? Why were the parents up
because it was cute.
Would you get your let the parents go up onto the space station?
No,
was
this
there
is
any
not
need
Nick
for them to
Fury.
be in the
He's a
space
joke.
station? Why would
You know what?
Don't they have Zoom?
But here's one thing: their house was destroyed. Their daughter was involved too, and and I tell you, if you do want to make a family connection, I know that there was a point that hit with us was that they made a connection with the family. It actually was one of the better relationships in the
mom
whole
is
movie.
fun.
Was
the mom
with
is
the
fun,
dad,
and
the brother.
yeah.
I mean, it was
But
all
that
kind of
doesn't-
a good connection, though.
But
And
that-
honestly, how many of the times we've seen in disaster movies where the family of whoever's involved gets brought along? I saw it in World War Z where the family gets brought along because they're involved in the situation.
Yeah,
So,
but they should have been in a government building. You don't bring them up to the space station.
No, you don't. But I'll give you this. I'll give you this though, dude.
But it gave you some good scenes, though, Dad. Man, I agree.
I'll give you this though, dude. This family was less annoying than the one in Blue Beetle. They were worse. They were way worse. As a annoying family. Whew. Yeah. So I mean, oh, by the way, I forgot to bitch about the biggest problem of the movie. The most annoying thing was the Flurkin. I hate everything about him. That's the most disgusting, shitty, asinine garbage. I mean, that's the only thing that aggravates me about the movie. The other, I'm just like, oh God, at least whatever. At least it's gonna be over quick.
The other thing that makes sense to me was, when they're switching with their powers. Okay, that's kind of cute and that's kind of fun. Captain Marvel, even though they shouldn't know who she is, she blips into the room and she sees all the posters. But even that scene didn't play out as well or as funny as I thought it should have. Like if you can imagine Spider-Man going into a room filled with spider stuff, and laughing and having fun, and that scene was okay, but could have been played for a lot more laughs. But why can they only use certain powers? I couldn't understand the switching. Like they're flying, right? So Captain Marvel is using her power to fly. So certain times they could use the powers and not switch, but other times it would make them switch.
There was also a time where Kamala blasted what's her name without either negaband. She had no negaband. She used her power.
Or does she have? Of course, in the comic, she's a mutant. She's an
she
inhuman.
don't have negabands in the comics. This was
she's an inhuman. So allegedly, the rumor was they didn't want her to have powers too similar to Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, but this is the movie. She blasted. There's one shot. She blasted Dar-Benn after she'd taken a bracelet off. A bracelet. I hate calling it. They're negabands. The negabands.
Yeah. Well, Rick Jones claimed him back, but what happens? Like, does she in the miniseries that she gets her powers from the negaband that are on Sensor? But then does she have powers without the negaband? She can't have powers without the negaband.
Well,
right?
I mean, unless they just decided to for the hell of it.
I'm not sure.
Maybe no. That you have to have the negabands on to use them.
Right? I would think.
When Quasar didn't Quasar have this? These are like Quasars, and then also like
negaband and
Marvels.
And Genus Marvel, written by Peter David, a fantastic series. They did a new run of that, and they got canceled way too quickly again. But
Blue Beetle, Blue Beetle's gone.
Yeah, I did like my I love Peter David, so that writing, and Rick Jones, that was great when they would switch. Well, Dadman hasn't read the comics, so those negabands that Camilla is wearing in the comic books, those are the son of Captain Marvel. Genus Marvel inherits the negabands, and he gets linked up with Rick Jones. I forget how. Fanty's in the chat to let me know, but when you put the negabands together, it's almost like Shazam, and they flip bodies, and you go into another dimension, and then the other person takes over in reality for a while. So Rick Jones, and it was a good series, and it was really fun.
Fandy, I don't care what they call them in the movie; they're negabands. Jesus Christ. quantum bands. Yeah, they're nega bands. Screw them calling them quantum bands.
And Rocco
Damn it.
says they made a point to mention their powers kept going after a switch until they stopped. Because I was saying the same thing. Then they make a point. Oh, so you're saying when they stop using the powers, then they would switch again? I was just all very confusing why they would switch and how you could.
It was very confusing. Yeah, but
I thought that was confusing. Yeah, I
By
mean,
the way-
those are nitpicking, geekery,
Yeah.
nerd stuff. But
You know, and by the way, just because I've read the comics, I had nothing for any of these characters. It's sort of like, you say, like it's been said that, well, if you're not much into Star Wars, you might not like it. And you watch a Star Wars movie, you might enjoy it even if you don't know much about Star Wars. These are characters. Look, I know Carol Danvers fine, but I have not read her comics in a long time. I never cared for Monica or Kamala. I've never read any of Kamala's comics. So other than there are a few characters I haven't, most of the characters in this movie, even though I read comics for 50 years, I didn't read any of their comics that much and had no connection to them. And I just still thought it was crap. But anyway.
well, I got to show a picture of my Carol Danvers figure. So hold on. Let me. You guys talk amongst yourself while I set up my camera.
All right. Let's talk about football just to piss him off, Dad, man.
How about those?
I hit the button on the mic. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, I'm all in a good mood. Hey,
Hey, your Muslim uncle, congrats to your Raiders pulling that one off. Boy, the Jets are, man.
Jets are falling. Although I did
So
win
am I,
in
too.
fantasy football again.
You did?
hey, Mark.
I'm in second place right now with a 7-3 record.
Yay.
So I had the Jets defense who had 10 points. Sorry if we're sports balling. Not that anyone cares. And Robinson.
Hey, Mark, join the club. I've made everybody mad tonight, so it's cool.
No, you didn't.
Well,
I'm having fun. I'm having fun, Cobby. I'm having fun with it. But yeah,
All of our teams got beat today. So
holy crap, the Jaguars really got stomped, man.
you know what? We got beat. Goes 5-5, and we're still in first place. That's how shitty our division is, and it's the South.
Dang.
Well, the good thing is Jacob's on the Raiders. Is it the Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, he had
Los Angeles.
Las Vegas. He got a big run.
Big run, but he didn't have a touchdown and a fumbled loss. So that was the player I was up against. I was worried. That's what kills you with fantasy football. You're watching a game and worried about
Mark.
people.
Wow, Mark. Danny DeVito's son's playing quarterback for you guys now. Dang, that's bad. That's bad.
Nice Jersey guy. Yeah.
Joe, boy, hey, they rallied and got 2 touchdowns at the end there.
Yeah. Hey, all right. Hey, they got on the scoreboard, Mark.
49-17.
Wow, that's horrible.
So here are some cool. Let me adjust the camera a little bit.
I kind of like that outfit, but I like her original. Carol. They're just calling her Carol Danvers, not Miss Marvel or Warbird. You notice that?
Yeah. So it should be Warbird.
Well, she was, she was Miss Marvel in that too before she became Warbird.
Yeah. She wore this outfit as Miss Marvel, but I loved her in Thunderbirds too. She was a fantastic character in Thunderbirds, of course. And Rogue takes her powers and takes her mind. Did she go away? What happened to Carol Danvers when Rogue took her powers? Was she
became binary, didn't she?
Then she became binary?
Not in this though. She wasn't binary. She wasn't binary, was she? In this added credit scene.
Well, spoiler. We have to talk about the end of the movie too eventually. But
because we kind of researched that after we left the theater about like what that last scene was and who that was.
It was nice to hear Kelsey Grammer. Too bad he was a CG beast and it was wasty.
Yeah, he was good in that. Oh, he's just so good with his voice. Of course, he's got that radio voice, Dr. Fraser Crane. But but let me just show. I'm not gonna set up my other mic. I'll just hold her up to the camera.
How much did you get that one for? They got them for like
I think it was $10 or something.
Those figures are like $6 now at Ollie's or something like that.
Oh, I'd run in there with a whole stack.
They got a Reed Richards. You want him?
Let me check if I have it. I'll let you know what I need, and I shall send the funds. We don't have any Ollie's near us, but here, let me just give her a close up. And I think a lot of the appeal of these figures, I don't know if you guys can hear me through the mic now, but a lot of the appeal, I think, is the packaging too. The figures aren't the best. They're good figures, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the appeal is putting these up on the wall with the packaging. Of course, it'd be fun, for $6 to, have your favorite team or the Thunderbirds or something all lined up too. But as I zoom in here, there's not great details on the figure. Of course, the scale, but the paint job's pretty darn good. It's limited articulation on these, but I think it's pretty darn good. But when you have that package, it's just fantastic. So let's see what they say in the back about Carol Danvers
The
here.
cards are really cool. These things, you don't almost want to
Yeah.
take them out. Even me, even I don't.
Even you, right? Yeah.
Oh, they got a
Soaring
card
through
though.
the
Look.
skies.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Carol Danvers flies, a super in strength and speed. In the fight to save the world, she's a hero we need. Yeah, Earth's mightiest heroes. Yep. So, yeah, they don't really have much, but yeah, it's a well done. They do a great job with this kind of retro art. And Ms. Marvel was controversial too when Carol Danvers started. Her midriff was exposed. She had a lot of skin in that Ms. Marvel comic. I can imagine the '70s they're calling a comic Ms. Marvel.
Yep, Hungry. Yep.
Hungry Boy recognizes this. Yeah.
Wyachek, as they pronounce his name, Bob Wyachek. Why not Cash?
Yeah. So I figure I'd show that. But yeah, Thunderbirds is one of my favorite comics. They're going to be making a movie or a series out of that, I think. But yeah, it's just a shame what
I think
what,
Binary
we're not
Princess.
getting those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She's
Warbird.
She's a terrible.
Warbird. Well, she becomes. Warbird's a different character, isn't it? Or no, it's
Carol. But for some reason, Carol
becomes
became Warbird later. After after she was binary for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm mixing up Moonstone. Yeah, Moonstone's the other character in the Thunderbirds I'm thinking of. Yeah. Or Carla Soffin.
Carla Soffin was Moonstone originally, wasn't
Moonstone. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other female characters in there. Yep.
Boy, this woman. I mean, that man.
So let me. Let's see. Captain Marvel. Well, let's see. Binary. You should have a. Let's see. Well, let's do Ms. Marvel first.
Did you ever see that episode of the '90s X-Men cartoon that had the origin of that did the origin of Rogue and Carol Danvers and all that stuff? That was actually pretty good.
So the whole talk about the Marvels and X-Men, they do crossover in the lore and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it because of this
Rogue
time
steals her
paradox
powers
or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And here's Ms. Marvel, the first issue. See, her midriff is showing here, so a lot of skin on that outfit. And then then she changed. Then they painted that. They covered that up, and then then she became Warbird.
She had her series in the '70s for a while. I love that first costume.
Yeah. So that's a great. Yeah, this first costume is a great. Here's her costume here.
Agreed, Fiona. I hate Civil War, the comic.
And actually, Rogue's whose first appearance was in Miss Marvel 14? Was that Mystique? I think
Mystique or something
appears
like that?
in 13 or 14 or 15.
Claremont was writing the book at the time. I can't remember the issue number.
Yeah, Mystique appears. I have Mystique's first appearance in Miss Marvel.
See, she was Yeah. She was Miss Marvel in that outfit for a while.
And of course, his original Captain Marvel was his original Kree uniform here. But there's only like 20 issues, I think, of this first run, so something like that. So it's worth a read. Of course, Peter Parker. Some.
There you go. I love those covers of the old '70s series.
There's a question I'd like to ask y'all about the movie, but I'll put it in the private chat, Mark, so you can decide whether it's something you want to get into the detail of it. Okay. Because I know you got spoilers up, but I mean, some spoilers could be bigger than others, and I'll trust you as a host to use your judgment about what you think.
Sure, yep. Fanti says, Ms. Marvel became binary. Then, when she lost her enhanced binary powers, went to original Ms. Marvel levels. She returned to the Avengers as Warbird. Yep. I have this issue.
Perez.
My grandfather brought this back for me off the shelf.
Well, that's a Dave Cockrum cover there.
Oh, it's a great cover. Yeah. I mean, that I can see my grandfather grabbed that. It's just so he bought me a few of those original Ms. Marvel. That's one of those things that going back, I should have completed that run when it was very, very. They were in the dollar bins in most of these comics, unless the Mystique issue. And of course, you had Monica Rambeau. Oh, I got that issue. As Captain Marvel, who was another version of the character Photon. It was fun when she kept telling her, you had to come up with a code name. Kamala said needed a code name. I thought that was cute. That was funny. Well, that's fun superhero stuff, I think. Like you need a code name.
Well, damn man, actually, I mentioned that already. I talked about those stupid cats.
Okay, I missed. Then
Yeah.
I missed.
I already
we
bitched
skipped
about the
over.
cats. No, I got
Okay.
you. I already, bitched. I hate
Yeah,
those
yeah.
damn
Okay,
things.
I just
Flurkins.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
the
the Flurkins, the Flurkins, and we're doing spoilers here, but the Flurkins end up saving the day because they've got to transport everyone down from
Yeah.
the spaceship, and a lot of the pods are destroyed, and so the Flurkins have to eat everyone on the ship. The other thing I didn't understand was how did the Flurkins know who to eat and not to eat Nick Fury and the Marvels, or how did they know?
that was
like,
the missus
I don't
had a
know.
question with that about why didn't they eat the
Everyone.
family members. I mean, you might have Nick Fury might have needed a pilot, okay, or do something. I mean, granted one person, but that was a question we had about all of them. Why not all the family get eaten up like the crew members? So, but it was, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those silly things that got put in that actually worked for us,
Yeah,
but
well, it was
kinda
funny,
neat.
but it was funny. But I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta, when powers aren't consistent, that's what
Yeah.
drives me.
I know.
Drives me
I've seen
nuts.
so many bad movies, and like I said, some of the other ones have been so bad that I'm gotta laugh at something. And that
Hey,
was
Dad,
actually
man, I'll
kinda
give you
decent.
this.
Yes, sir.
It's still not as bad as Green Lantern. The movie.
That's what I hear. I might have to go back and watch Green Lantern again and see maybe if the second time will show me what I missed.
Well, now that you've seen the animated series, you see something
Yeah.
good with Green Lantern, maybe you won't like it. But don't worry about it. Don't stretch
Yeah,
yourself out.
no, it's all good. It's all good.
There you go.
Oh,
Another
Mystique
cockle
was
cover.
Ms. Avengers. Let's say Ms. Marvel 13. How do they know who not to digest? Yeah. I mean, the Flurkins are one of those things where it's like they're trying to be tribbles, but it's just not working. Where it's just
Well, but
it's
that's
trying to
what they
be
did in
funny, but it's
Captain
not-
Marvel when he took Nick Fury's eye out. That's what I can't stand.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah, but it's like when you're trying too hard or an idea is a little bit funny, but just doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't really,
Oopy.
It's trying to be cute and it's not getting it done. So, yeah, I mean, my friend, Chris, he's like, yeah, he's like, the story was pretty terrible, but he's like, was it the worst movie I ever saw? No, and there were parts that were enjoyable. My buddy Chris, who I go to every Marvel movie with, I go to Comic-Con with, he's like, yeah, was it a good movie? I'm just like, no, but he's like, it wasn't the worst thing I saw. And he's like, and it was short, and the only thing I had a problem with was the fight scenes even weren't that enjoyable too, in terms of, I think part of it being jaded by CGI and just, we're so used to so many amazing, fight scenes or CGI that it's doesn't rock you anymore. Just show you how, wow, that's amazing. Like, can't believe how cool that is. You're just so used to CGI. Let's see. I don't know if they have any pictures of the Beast. I don't want to get in trouble, I guess, too. But so the Beast actually does show up in the end. Spoiler. So in the end, Monica Rambeau, binary. Is she binary or whatever she is in the movie? They don't even give her a code name, right?
Well, no, they don't say who she is, but she's wearing pretty much binary's costume.
Yeah, she's wearing binary's costume.
There was something in a write-up we read that referred to it as binary because we'd asked about the two characters.
Yeah.
We knew Kelsey Grammer's character, but we didn't know. We were trying to figure out who the second character was, and that's what we were told. What we read was it was binary.
And the interesting thing was, you've got the heroes got to save the day and sacrifice, right? Kind of like, of course, Tony Stark made it back to Earth at the end of Avengers, but Carol, Monica Rambeau, she's got to go inside this part of space and link space together. And of course, at the end, she figures out that they have to calculate. They've got to give all the energy. And why not Captain Marvel, who's actually more powerful? But I guess Monica Rambeau can modify light, so she can bring her, everything back, back together, the planet and all the the fractals or whatever. But she can't do it from our galaxy. She's got to do it from the other galaxy. Kind of like a Spock and Wrath of Khan, and just so she gets trapped on the other side of the universe. Of course, she can't slingshot herself through. Typical, and she ends up in a hospital, and of course you hear Hank McCoy's voice as the Beast, and she's in a hospital, and of course they flash back. And she sees her mom, who is binary in that universe. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think maybe he did call her binary.
They did call her binary. She's wearing the classic.
Yeah, I think he did. Okay.
The binary uniform. Yeah. The binary uniform. The red and the...
Yeah. Well, think about Green Lantern. I just want to point out to Fiona is Marvel's may be worse, but it for me personally, on a personal level, it doesn't destroy any character I give a shit about. Green Lantern movie's worse because I actually love Green Lantern. And it's a terrible, awful movie. But I hear you. Oh, yeah.
Wait.
There you go.
Yeah, Fiona, what I meant was all those early movies were so good. And now to see, CGI, or you've got to have a great story combined with, Winter Soldier is a fantastic story. I mean, if you had made that, say, a spy novel, a James Bond novel, or just an action spy concept, that movie works because the story is just so well done. You could have didn't have to be Captain America. Of course, it makes it that much cooler. But just now today, it's just you get jaded by seeing some things that maybe 20 years ago, if you had seen them, you would have been like, "Oh my God, I can't believe how cool that is," or how wild those scenes were. So this is Binary, who's Monica Rambeau was binary, but now they're having her mom in this other universe be binary. So kind of confusing. And of course, she's connected to the X-Men. So that, if they eventually bring in the X-Men, I guess, which the way they'll do it, they'll do like a Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they'll have something where, all the universes will be merged together somehow, or that's eventually how they'll do it. Yeah.
But Hunger Boy's making that point again. He's talking about that, but the way they wasted Arnim Zola. That's true, but that's almost true of every single villain in the MCU, including the good MCU movies. They all undersold their villains. I mean, first of all, you never see the Red Skull again. Loki never gets used properly after early issues.
He's never a villain again.
Yeah, even as much as Thanos isn't really used correctly. Even in those movies, which I do like, what I'm saying is, Hunger Boy, that's every villain. I like it. I can like MCU movies and still be angry with them for not using the villains properly. So we agree. Green Lantern did more damage to your feelings about the comics. Well, just as a movie version, yeah. This movie is so detached from anything, it really didn't damage anything but itself. Agreed, Princess. Agreed, big time. Agreed.
Yep. So here's Binary's origin here. So 1982's Uncanny X-Men 164. It's notable as in the mid-credit scene that introduces Monica Rambeau version of the character. We see her alongside Beast, Kelsey Grammer, in what looks like the underground medical bay of the X-Mansion, immediately evoking the comic book connection between the character and the team. Carol's relationship with the X-Men is key to the creation of her binary alter ego, as in that issue from X-Men Super Team, Chris Claremont and Dave Cockrum, Carol is on a mission with the mutant team, the Shi'ar allies battling the Brood when her new powers manifest. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, binary of the comics was Carol Danvers, not Monica. I'm mixing up all my characters. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, God, the Brood, fighting the Brood. Can you imagine if they had that storyline?
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Even in the better of these, I love Winter Soldier is one of the greatest things ever. I really love it. But, man, it still should have been the Red Skull instead of Robert Redford as the bad guy. In other words, they always drop the ball on the villains. I mean, obviously,
I think they wanted to. I think they want to get rid of the Yahtzee storyline as much as they could.
Well, they're idiots. But I mean, I'm just saying the Red Skull was used in the first Cap movie, and it was great. And then they don't use them again.
Yep.
They don't use. I mean, they really changed Thanos to a point where I can't. As much as I love Infinity War, I hate what Thanos' whole motivation and everything. I can't stand it.
Well, they don't have Death in there anymore, so. Character Death, I should say.
I mean, I love some of these movies I love that are entertaining, and yet still the entire MCU is not particularly well put together and has good ones and bad ones. It's just not as atrocious back then as it is now. It's not even the MCU now. So they're from really good movies, and they were fun to look forward to while they lasted. But now they're just
that build up to Endgame and Infinity War was phenomenal. And yeah, Thanos isn't exactly the Thanos from the comics, but at least he's got gravitas, and the villain in this movie just don't care about it at all. There's no, you're not even worried about it. But let me just read this paragraph here. How did she get her binary abilities? Well, it's a long story that begins with her origin as Ms. Marvel. She saw a freak accident that combined the best genetic elements of a human and the ancient star-faring race of the Kree. But that didn't alone make binary. For that to happen, Carol had to lose her Ms. Marvel powers to Rogue when she touches her, but she normally loses those powers, but they became permanent. So Carol Danvers is powerless. That's until the Brood kidnapped the X-Men. A phenomenal storyline. Love that. Including Carol, and experimented on her. Her modified genes reacted to the Brood's meddling in the depths of space, created the hero known as Binary. So yeah, that was great. I think the X-Men's one in the one. Okay, well, it's 164, I guess. Yeah, so I have all those issues.
That was when Cockrum went back. I think Cockrum went back to the X-Men for a while. I don't know if that's a Cockrum issue or not, but I think it is a Cockrum cover for sure.
Yeah. But imagine if Redford had turned into the Red Skull.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah,
because I can't.
That would have been awesome.
All he just takes his face off at the end, and he's like, he's a skull, and then he jumps, he gets away while everybody's fighting and stuff. Perfect. That's what
Hungry Boy says no. Oh, the film Thanos sucked. Actually, Hungry Boy, that was actually the Red Skull, because you really don't know comics. And my brother-in-law, at the end of the Avengers movie, he's like, Mark, that's Red Skull in the end. And I'm arguing with him. I'm like, why am I arguing with you? I have 20,000 comic books in my basement. You're the finance guy. If I need advice on what to invest in. And he looked at me and he's like, Mark, I think you're right.
That's right. He's talking the events of Avengers when they showed the guy with the reddish face at Thanos. He thought it was Red Skull because he probably just recently seen the Cat movie, right?
Yeah, and he's arguing with him and he keeps going. I had to drop the mic on that one. I was like, what's and then he laughed and he's like, yeah, okay, I guess you're right. So
Lord.
I mean, I'm glad Dadman liked the movie and he got a private movie theater with the misses.
Yes, exactly.
So that was awesome.
I have seen, like I said, I've seen worse movies. Really have. I mean,
if you enjoyed it,
I know it's not Marvel. I know Flash isn't Marvel, but God, that was horrible. I know it's a different franchise, but it's like there's just movie making is not what it used to be. But,
I just can't believe they spent $200 million on this either. I mean, what did they spend the $200 million on?
That I will agree with.
Reshoots.
Because aren't there stories about massive reshoots? Because like you had touched on that it started from Captain Marvel 2 or 2.
Think so.
Now we got this, and it's just the reshoots, the massive amount of reshoots. You're like, but honestly, that must have said the first movie really, really sucked big time, and so.
Well, they kept chopping it down more. So.
What did the missus think of the movie? Yeah, like A, B, C, D. I mean, you liked it more than her, I guess, or
no? Hey, are you awake? No, she's asleep. I was going to rate it about a B, so I'm thinking she's probably C+ to B, somewhere in that sort of area.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, we've seen some very, very bad movies. And I just, like we said, a lot of times, a lot of these things are subjective, and that's why I always say watch stuff on your own. I mean, don't go spend the money if you don't have it and all that. But I mean, if it's on free or if it's on TV, give it a chance to watch it. I mean, I know there are some movies I will not watch no matter what, and like Avatar is one of them. There's enough themes in that movie that I've heard enough. I just will not watch it no matter how much they say it's good.
I don't blame you. I hated it.
So I do have those, but see, that's stuff that you could tell was in the movie very early, and they promoted it as such. I think one thing they did here is they didn't have your Captain Marvel here or Carol Danvers going out doing pre-publicity beforehand saying she didn't care how people reacted to a movie, this, that, and the other, and a lot of other stuff. I think they were smarter on some of the, of course, did they even market it well or try to market it? But
at that point, it didn't matter.
have some of the stuff like we see the thing with the new Snow White next year that the ladies out there already bashing everything out there. It's like, and we've had other cases with movies that do it. It's like, well, you sit here and insult all your audiences, even the people that are willing to give it a chance can find it hard to justify coming to watch you if you're just going to hate everybody. Let everybody watch it for themselves and decide.
Oh, Princess, my brother-in-law did not know who Thanos was. So Purple Skull, yeah, he's a normie. So he knew who Red Skull is. I guess as a kid, most kids knew Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, but he wasn't a comic book reader. So I'm like, it's Thanos. He's like, it's Red Skull. He's like, who's Thanos? What is this Thanos you talk of? Is it Grimace? What? And then
oh shit.
Princess is saying they spent $270 million, with advertising, and it's gonna be a big loser. Unbelievable that they spent that much money. I mean, there was
there was nothing
that blew me away.
Right, there was nothing like massive CGI. You didn't have massive space battles and stuff like that. Yeah, you would have thought there would have been a lot more money. I mean, for special effects and stuff like that. It was just a basic, I agree with you on that point.
And we got people saying they like Redford as the villain and not the Red Skull. So that's
he would have been the villain the whole time. And then in the last minute, they should take his mask off, and he turned out because the Red Skull would do that. Red Redford sucks in there.
But Fiona's saying here her counterpoint is trying to demonstrate even the most trusted and forthright people can be corrupted by Hydra. He was Fury's lifelong friend.
Yeah, but he was really the Red Skull, as far as I'm concerned. I'm making him the Red Skull right now. I'm retconning it.
All right, you're retconning it. And this is this scene here is a dad man. She was in the T-shirt all the time, so we were my buddy Chris and I were joking about that.
Yeah, that was very noticeable.
Yeah,
that was very noticeable. You couldn't miss that.
But I mean, hey, they made fun of Captain America's posterior, so that's what I always joked about comic books. They're like, the women are drawn so scantily. It's like, have you seen the way the guys are drawn in comics? I mean,
no, they're all wearing.
Reed Richards is.
Guys are all wearing togas.
Yeah. I mean, Captain America, Reed Richards. I mean, how fit? He's the world's fittest scientist, of course. Granted, he can control his body, but I'm like, other than the Blob, it's like who's fat in comics, for the most part. So I always laughed at that. It's like the guys are drawn, pinnacle of human, development too. So it's just funny. But that's why it's a fantasy too, right? You don't want to see fat Thor. You want to, if Thor floats your boat, you don't want to see fat Thor. You want to see maybe fat Thor does float your boat, but I want to see some exceptional characters. That's why they're movie stars, right? What's the I'm drawing a blank on one of the Avengers. Who's oh my god, my brain is not working tonight. I've been up working on this project so long. So
you got that. Yeah.
Black Widow. Who plays Black Widow is
Scarlett
Johansson.
Yeah. She was complaining that people.
Oh yeah. She whined about them wanting to see sexy outfits and skin.
Yeah.
Because we know that they were putting Chris Hemsworth in a toga, right?
Yeah, and of course, why is she one of the most popular? I mean, she's a good actress, but obviously she's extremely pretty too.
But still, beyond that, I mean, the Black Widow was a temptress. I mean, the femme fatale. I mean, sexiness was part of the character for espionage and things like that. That's where she spoke out of turn. She's, because it's the whole element of the character. You wouldn't send the spy that looked like the major from Fifth Element, that they were going to have a Corbin Dallas. You want a sexy, attractive woman to play that role.
But that's part of that.
She wasn't complaining when she cashed her paycheck. So what
exactly.
Yeah. And the other thing is, Kamala Khan never had her mask the whole movie too. That's another trope that this superhero movie propagated again. Was none of the people wear masks anymore? Their helmets, like Ant-Man and Wasp, they kept trying to take their helmets off as much as they could. And then because the actors and actresses want to have their faces shown, of course, too. So Kamala Khan, it's like everyone knows her secret identity now too. I mean, Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel has no family, I guess, but that's part of the danger of being a hero. But yeah, they don't even bother. At one point, she says, "Oh my God, I don't have my mask on." It's like, where was her mask? She never. And even when they made them new costumes, she didn't ask for a mask. It's like there's no mask anymore. And Bouncing Boy is offended. Yeah, I'm gonna go bounce over to the kitchen now and get some ice cream. But yeah, but yeah, it's. I thought it was a miss. I would give it a low, like a C rating, C minus. But I've seen worse. But it just. I think part of the fail is Brie Larson just doesn't do it for me. As Captain Marvel, not like Tony Stark as Iron Man. Not do you have to have that snarky personality, which gets can get tired so fast. But it's you got to have something that's a draw, and she just doesn't get it done for me. Just not like, oh wow, I can't wait to see another Captain Marvel movie. So of course the young actress who plays Kamala Khan does a great job, emoting and being energetic, and Monica for the most part is well done too. But I think it's a big miss. But hey, E. Clay Thompson, I think we're gonna wrap up now because I got to finish this big project for tomorrow. I hate to disappoint. We got 17 people watching here, but
Yay!
it always take us a while to wrap up anyway. But I'm doing a charity event this week, and I've got to do the 100-page program book. So of course I do desktop publishing and InDesign, my day job. So I'm volunteering to do a huge project, and I'm still waiting for some things. I got to get this book in by 9 a.m. So, God, I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. I hate to leave when we got so many people watching, but got to do my day job, or my volunteer day job. And I'm up to 978 sub-aroonies. That's awesome. So thank you to everyone out there who subbed. My Star Trek Worf takes a mud bath has taken off in the last few days. It's funny how the algorithm goes with the YouTubes, but that video is had like it's getting like 1,000 views a day, which is funny. But and that video has been out for for over a year. Then all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe something going on with mud baths. But let me put that link in here if you want to see Worf taking a bath. That video has been going nuts lately, which is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why, but it's I'm not complaining, but it's funny that's taken off like crazy. Well, I guess I can show it because it's on my channel, right? So I can here. Let me show this. But I have the audio off, but yeah, you're just supposed to sit here.
It's disturbing.
So yeah, I guess you're just supposed to sit there, Worf, and enjoy it and watch the Marvels at the same time. But and hail to Wes Cagle. Yep.
Hey, Wes Cagle.
We'll go around the horn. We're gonna try to get out of here quickly because, like I said, I need to go eat ice cream. I mean, work on
a lot of work ahead.
Does ice cream keep you up at night? No, I can't have caffeine anymore. I'm not allowed to have caffeine, so it's really bad, But it's all right. Yeah, E-Clay says, "Oh, he's not a merry man." Oh, I think I got that one here. Do I have? He's not a merry man. I gotta have that somewhere. You need an AI to find the videos for you, like really quickly. Let's see here. I think I got it under this one here. Let's see. Where's this video hiring it? Oh, come on. I need the Jeopardy song when you're trying to find the video on the list. Yeah.
We could talk football again.
Congratulations. You are fully dilated to 10 centimeters. You may now give birth.
Oh, that's what I've been doing.
Could you imagine?
Oh no, I should not. I would have died if I had said that to my wife. Yeah.
Oh my God, you'd be killed. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I thought I had it in here, but I got to organize my clips better. But God, where's that clip hiding? Oh, here we go.
For you, Mr. Worf, I would love to explore Klingon memories. Klingons do not allow themselves to be probed.
Right?
Yes.
All right. Well, enough fun. So, Dad, man, what you got? Anything going on during the week? Are you streaming at all? Or is the missus? Or we got to plug the missus? But
Yeah, the
what are you up
missus.
to?
Well, the missus does a daily at 9:00 a.m. type thing with focusing on positivity and just talking to people. And she's done it for a week. She's up over 50 subs.
Awesome.
So she's having fun with that. She's doing a couple build streams during the week in the afternoon or evening. So, and thank you for putting the link out there. So, I don't know if I feel up to it in about 20-30 minutes. I might go live tonight just because I'm got energy to talk. I don't know what I'll do if I do, but this week, I mean, there could be some random game streams at times, do on a couple channels. But my big thing is Wednesday night. I'll have my app, the movies, where I'll be talking with Daisy Blossom. We'll be discussing the 4th Indiana Jones movie. We're calling it lovingly Nuke the Fridge. The Crystal Skull. So we'll probably be less glowing about that than the other three. On Thursday night, of course, I have my next to last regular season college football show at 8:00 with Whoopa Troopa. And then on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, our continued look into the Buck Rogers TV series from the 1970s, 80s, where we're looking at 2 episodes on Friday night and just shared memories and thoughts of the episodes we watched. And just having a good time with, doing some stuff in the sci-fi area now, not just, like I've said, a cornucopia of things in this channel. And trying to do, and everything I do is because I want to, and the missus too is because we want to. We enjoy it. We talk about things we like, and and in the case of like this time, I'm learning a lot about sci-fi with having people that are knowledgeable on the panel talking with me, and learning along the way. But that's it for the week. Really, kind of a slow week in a way, but hey.
Well, I'm sure if you put the YouTubes on, you'll find either the Mrs. or Mrs. on it at some point. But let me
Absolutely.
put that. Everyone's here is sub to Dadman, I'm sure.
Thank you. And thanks to everybody. We did finally get over 500 subs. We're over 100 on the Twitch side too. And we're over 500. It seems like the stick on the YouTube. So there'll be a celebration of some type coming.
With clam pizza.
Yes, Marc D with a C has said he will buy the clam pizza for me.
Yeah, send you the clam pizza. You have to eat it live on. I mean, you don't have to show it.
Right.
Show
I
it.
will. We have a setup. The missus can do it. We can show the pizza, and that looks so much better though. The bacon wrap.
I wish I could send you those. Yeah.
I would too. I'd pay to have those transported. But thanks, Mark. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for hanging out.
Now I'm calling Clobby hungry, but Clobby, thank you for all your support too, and what you've done with us for us as a family, and everything else you've done. Appreciate it. Yeah,
no problem, bro.
Yeah, and West Cagle. Yeah, Aaron Gray. Yes, all the way.
Well, we did talk about Green Lantern tonight. Are we seeing that movie? What are we seeing? Green Lantern, the big fight. Yeah.
I'd rather talk about Aaron Gray, but
exactly, we all would.
And Clobber Times, I know you have a special show on J-Man's channel tomorrow night. You're hanging out there at 6 p.m.
No, it's the B Monday of every month, so we're on my channel for Earth B. I have 2 shows though, because it's I do 2 double feature, the B Monday, the second Monday of every month. We go to Earth B at 6 p.m. Central. J-Man and I to review another Bob Haney special, the wackiest writer who ever lived. Zany Haney time on there, and then since it's Doctor Who month on Clobbering Times, tomorrow night I'll review a Doctor Who comic. It'll be Doctor Who Star Trek Next Generation crossover by IDW.
Nice.
And I'll review that one, and of course Wednesday night I'll talk about ranking our favorite doctors and their companions and stuff. So then we got the Clubhouse on Thursday night, as you know, and then, and more after that.
Very good, very good. So everyone sub to Clobbering Times. If you're not, I'm going to clobber you. Let me get my plugs in.
You don't really have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, you do.
And don't go a lot of trouble.
And go watch Stargirl too.
Yes, go ahead. Watch Stargirl, he said. Everybody, go watch it.
I want to thank my Patreons, of course, Shooter, Brian Heppard, Rob Altus, and Larry. You can buy a Doomsday Machine, aka ice cream cone, sideways ice cream cone, on my Ko-fi shop. And thank you to the missus for pointing me out to Ko-fi, since those guys that somehow I got flagged on Etsy and they took down my Doomsday Machine, even though there's multiple other ones for sale. I don't get how that happened, but maybe because I mentioned Star Trek, even though the other person does mention Star Trek in their thing, unless they have unless they licensed it, which I doubt it. But anyway, so you can buy that there.
The drama.
Kirk has the first purchase, so thank you, JT Kirk. I will be shipping that tomorrow.
Cool.
And because it was a late shipping, I threw in an extra little Trek surprise there for you. So it's coming your way. So beware, everyone. If you live near JT Kirk, I won't say where he lives, but just warning you, it could be dangerous. But so check that out. You can get that at Ko-fi. Thanks to Mr. Oh, I forgot to post this in the Discord tonight that we're going live. So sometimes Mr. Angel, Discord people. Oops, sorry, Mr. Angel, but join the Discord there. I always try to post the live streams except when I'm forgetting. And let me thank all the channel members now. So thank you, Dave C., who became a World Devourer 3 days ago. Tatsu Samu from Switzerland actually joined a week ago. Doc Fortune, Jonah Hex, Bubba Doom 1, Joseph Dredd, Claude Saling, Joe's Atmosphere, Mr. Angel, Daisy Blossom, Gwagnar, your Muslim Uncle, Larry, Shooter, and Brian Hepburn, JT Kirk, Das Wolfen, Globberin Times, Globberonimo, Anti-River Jill. It's Courtney, who said she was going to try to make it tonight, but then she went to Comic-Con. She's got some cool pictures and stuff to show, so hopefully she'll be here. And of course, the ever awesome Eric K as the Silver Surfer level. So thank you to everyone who's a channel member and supporting the channel. It's helping me buy more action figures to review. So I did just get the Star Trek Playmates ship. And once this project is done this week, hopefully I'll have time to do member stream and do some more toy reviews in addition to the Geekery. But sometimes when you volunteer for this stuff, it takes over and you're trying to do your work. But of course, this is just so much fun. So I'm joking. This is like my study break tonight to come hang out with all you guys, hang out with Manny.
It's fun. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, appreciate you being here, Clobbering Times and Dadman. And I like that you had the guts to say that you did like the movie, because some people would just say, it sucked. Just because
no, you guys are friends. Y'all have always said opinions are welcome, and and I tell you, I like spirited debate too.
Yeah, so, it's fun.
And it's
actually, I was lying. I loved it. I just told him when they were doing it.
Nice testing.
So everyone, if Dadman does stream, I'd be shocked if he does not stream. And maybe he can continue this the Marvels discussion. We can review the Marvels TV show next week, Dad. And did you watch the Kamala Khan series?
No, I didn't. No,
you should probably watch it now.
I don't know if I like it that much, though.
Yeah, you guys should review that for sure. You guys,
I thought it was one of the better Marvel shows. Actually,
I really think you guys should review that.
You guys, yeah.
Well, if you want to, Mark, I'd be willing to kick tires.
Well,
on.
actually,
all I know is no Star Wars.
She was the best thing about this movie, and then she's the family. It's interesting. But we got to get out of here. But I'm half joking, but if you did enjoy the movie, watch that miniseries. So tease Dadman at every level of the stream about the Marvels. Yeah, we need someone to. Where's Gwagnar to do a Dadman in with the Marvels? When I see Gwagnar, gotta tell him.
Well, all I know is I one movie I will not kick the tires on because I've heard universally how bad it was Eternals. As I think
actually I lied about that too. It's really good. It's probably the best Marvel movie. You should watch it. I think it's fantastic. Don't tell anybody though.
Well, I trust that. Along with Hungry out there saying he made it 20 minutes in before he passed out. So.
Oh, Dan, man, don't listen to that, man. You don't actually go watch it now. I was kidding. Man, I'd have to be responsible for you going, hey, you really let me go watch it. Holy shit. Now it's in fact, I'll let you know that there, like I said, there are 6 movies I think are worse than the Marvels. In order, they are Black Panther, the first one, Shang-Chi, Filthy Trash, Thor, Love and Blunder, Captain Marvel, Eternals, and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. All worse.
The worst of the worst is which one for Wakanda Forever?
Both. I hate both Black Panther movies. I hate them
Right.
both. I hate Shang-Chi, Thor: Love and Thunder, Captain Marvel, and Eternals. All more than I hate.
Okay.
And I don't even hate the Marvels. Just don't think it's any good. I don't.
And
I mean,
which
so
one
there.
is the worst? Which one is the worst?
My
of the
very
worst?
bottom, the worst of all of them for me is at 33 is the Black Panther Wakanda Forever. That's
Okay, so then
Eternals, and
okay,
then Captain
Eternals.
Marvel.
I got you. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh wow.
But you know what,
That's a
buddy?
great
You might
recommendation.
like them. You never
Hey,
know.
you never
man.
know. I got other things to do sometimes.
Look at us! Come on, and the crowd goes wild.
If you watch Eternals, you can come on and we can talk to us about it. You could tell us. We could take it.
I know. Well, I don't know. I do take y'all's judgment at some point with this. This one was a little different, kicking the tires. But all I know is, I tell you what, I see the Star Trek animated, that Lower Decks crap, and I'm just like, I had never. That's another conversation. Sorry, Mark, you got to get out of here.
That's all I'll say about the Marvels. Yeah.
Groovy.
And of course,
I tell you, it just doesn't matter! It just doesn't matter! It just doesn't matter! It just doesn't matter!
It just doesn't matter. One of the greatest lines of all time.
yeah, I just love it. Yeah. So yeah, I thought the plot was incoherent, but all right, let's get out of here. I gotta get back to work, unfortunately. But I appreciate you guys being here, everyone in the chat. I don't have time to call everyone out, but let's see who's active in the chat. I'm gonna cheat to who's active. You can do there. So Larry, Hungry Boy, Princess Fiona, Stream Element Spot, Wes Cagle are still hanging with us, and of course all you lurkers and people watching this on rewind. Don Ranger Power, Real Wide Nation, E. Clay Thomason, and Fanti. Those are the recent people there. So thank you to everyone who's watching. I got to get back to work, unfortunately, but this has been a lot of fun tonight. And yeah, just if you go watch the movie, decide for yourself. But I'd say watch Stargirl instead. Have fun, everyone, and have a great week. Thank you for spending the end of your week with us, and we'll catch you on the next Sunday night Geekery. Later, Gators.
Later.
Bye, everybody.
Fun storming the castle.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.